Hello, everybody, and welcome to Advantage in Paradise. I think I've finally gotten how to come on to the live show now, with Alex giving me the countdown. He didn't trick me this day. But
And we're
anyway,
live.
oh. Welcome everyone to another episode of Advantage in Paradise. Thank you for joining us on this lovely evening. We are going to get started in just a few moments. As always, our audio is a combination of licensed music from soundstripe.com and ambiance that is a combination of tabletop audio and Sirenscape. So please go ahead and check those services out if you want to use them for your own games or your own streams. They're great services. Before we get into any sort of recap, I'm going to turn it over to Shannon to talk to you a little bit about our partners and some of our social media shoutouts.
Thanks, John. Hi, guys. I hope everybody's having a great start to their Monday. So before I do my shoutouts, I just want to remind everybody who is in chat that we are doing a fundraiser for the Bail Project throughout the entire month of June. I will drop that in the chat right now, and I will continue to drop that in the chat throughout the night. If you've already donated, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate the support. And if you haven't donated or you're not able to donate at this time, please help us spread the word. We're about $150 away from reaching our goal. We're really excited about it. So thank you, everybody, for your support. And we love you. So my social media shoutouts, our partners. First, we have Talon and Claw. A bunch of us have the wooden dice. They're gorgeous and lovely, and they roll really well. And as I mentioned on the Power Hour last night, I have purchased Hades Flame for no reason. Actually, there's a reason, but I just really wanted it. So I will be rolling that at my Disney game in a couple of weeks. And they also have full sets. I have the Conspiracy of Ravens, which is super awesome. And they're just really cool people. And they have a Twitch channel and just made Twitch affiliate last week. So if you haven't checked them out on Twitch yet, definitely do. And if you haven't followed them on Twitter yet, definitely head over there. I'm pretty sure everybody in chat is already doing that. But if you're not, go ahead and head on over. They're awesome. Next, I would like to talk about Arcane Spectacles. They are our second partner, and they make beautiful products such as this Sneak Attack Dice Vault. And it's a dice vault because what? It comes apart, and it's a dice tray as well. So it holds all your levels of Sneak Attack dice. So I currently have 3, hopefully getting 4 soon. Hint, Sean, I want another one. Thank you. If you don't follow them already, please do. They just put these back up along with their Spell Tracker dice vaults because they got their printers working again. So go ahead over and check them out. And for both of our partners, you can enter the code Paradice, Paradice, and you can get 10% off your order. So thank you, Talon Claw and Arcane Spectacles, for your continued partnership. You guys are awesome. All right, my 3 content creators that I'm going to shout out tonight. The first I would like to shout out is Lionhead Gaming. I popped into their stream last night, and I popped in at like a really intense moment. Lion was using this voice changer thing, and I believe it was a dragon that was talking, and it was really cool. And I was just, it was a great moment to pop in, and they have great content. So if you haven't given them a follow yet or checked them out on Twitter or Twitch, head on over there. Great group, great people. Second person I would like to shout out is at Chem_Gal. She's a new follower, and she's been having some really great conversations with me and the community this week on Twitter. So I just wanted to give her a little love. Thanks for all of your great conversations and for all the support you're giving to everybody over on Twitter. And last, I would like to shout out Ice Cream Dice. They have a Kickstarter going right now for Pride Dice. They are beautiful, and I believe they've already passed their fundraising goal, and they're about to crack a stretch goal, I think. I'll get their link, and I'll put that in the chat after I'm done. But give them a follow on Twitter if you haven't already, and go check out their Kickstarter because they're doing some great work. All done. And Alex, I put the incorrectly this week for you. So you're welcome.
Thank you, Shannon.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, without further ado, then, I think we'll get into our session. So please definitely check out all of the different things that Shannon brought up there, especially our Tiltify campaign to show your support for the Bail Project and Black Lives Matter. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight, and let's get started. All right. So, Last we left off, Wiswick and Cal began. Oh, there's a fly in my office. Wiswick and Cal started to head down towards the ravine beneath the falls of Drift March, where they were going to search for an entrance below in the caverns that could potentially lead up into the castle itself. The reason they began searching for this was because Wiswick had used his extended detect magic to find a few oddities underneath the ground beneath Drift March. As they descended the cliffside and found a safe passage twisting through the rock to find the edge of the waterfall, Jet was sent ahead to try to go into the cavern to see what was ahead. And as Jet fluttered past a hole in the side of the cliff, a rather large worm-like creature stuck its head out and chomped down on Jet, immediately dissipating the familiar. The creature immediately began searching for more food. Not satisfied with its little fiendish meal, it turns its eyes towards Wiswick. And it was at this point that Cal and Wiswick engaged in combat with a young Remoraz, sustaining quite a bit of damage as the two of them fought off the creature, leaving much of Cal's lovely coat a bit singed from the lava-like magmic blood that comes from the Remoraz. But they were able to defeat it, and then they approached the opening in the cavern, where they could see a small red light, like that of a burnt-out torch, emanating out. Cal had all of his goggles of night on, ready to see into the darkness, when Wiswick, instead of sneaking in and looking for anything, immediately shouted out in Undercommon that they had defeated the monster and that all was clear. It was at this point that a figure's head peeked out from the cave, a somewhat grotesque humanoid who was hunched over and had parts of his body were overgrown while others were shrunken. Generally looked like somewhat of a mutated experiment, with long black hair that descended down and dragged across the ground as he walked. He using his much larger arm to walk forward, while the other one clasped at his chest. His face was a pallid gray color, with patches of hair that were disturbed by patches of gray, scaly, scab-like skin. You came to know this creature as Zafra, and Wiswick was immediately curious, as the creature looked like some sort of mutated and disfigured version of the paintings of the Archmage you'd seen in previous ancient structures like Drift March. You went inside the tunnel with the creature as it spoke to you about the surroundings. It spoke about Zirf Neblin that had locked it out of their passageway when creatures ahead in the cavern began appearing and destroying Zafra's home. Creatures that are made of shadow with fiery light coming from them and prowling on four legs. Wiswick seemed to ignore all of those descriptors as he decided that they were a drow for sure within this cavern, and compelled Cal to go and get the others so that they could go and clear the caverns of these drow. They did retreat back up the rope that Cal had tied off to the cliffside, where they went and gathered their companions after their companions had spent some time with the prisoners from the previous battle with the Zverals. Led by Curon, primarily Curon doing most of the talking, Curon, Timber, and Scarlet went to the prisoners to speak with Surdik, the supposed commander of these Zveral forces. In this conversation, they learned that the prisoners were being kept in not the best quarters outside in the rain and with little food or drink. But they also found out that Serdek was particularly a devoted follower of the Stormlord, the new Stormlord, um, and a little bit about the relationship between Oxlin and Sverewold. Serdek insisted upon calling the Oxlin lords cows, um, and referenced their imposing nature upon the eastern lands of of Zverwold, calling Queen Zulvig in Caerwent a puppet queen for Oxlin's court, um, going so far as to say that they have injected their religious beliefs into the communities of Zverwold at the cost of their traditional faith in the Stormlord. That was most of what they could get out of Serdek, as they then went to speak with the general, where Kiran made a pointed statement about the conditions these prisoners were being kept in, um, which the general responded with uh, somewhat pointed questions in return. Where would you have us house these prisoners? Um, it ended with a a terse comment where General Kinsley said, "I hope that you were here to talk about more." And Kiran decidedly said, "Nope," and walked out, uh, much to the dismay of the general. Uh, Kiran and Timber and Scarlet followed shortly. After this, the party reunited atop the cliff and descended down to the ravine to follow the cliffside to enter into these underground caverns, which were immediately noticeable as a similar to other underground caverns in Tressex, in that there is this fusion of hewn stone with natural rock. The plan, it took you a while to discuss the plan, as you were a bit confused about what was ahead at Wiswick's insistence that there were hellhounds ahead, while Kiran, also able to speak Undercommon, spoke with Zafra, who seemed to indicate more so that there were some sort of houndish creatures ahead, which you very quickly discovered, these hellhounds in Zafra's home. Zafra's home being this absolutely destroyed room that had vials and other tinctures and tools scattered across the ground all over the place, broken glass everywhere, a shattered tank in the corner with the green light of the spire glowing around it. But the most distinct feature was a tuning fork in the far side of the room with a uh, circumference around it that was sandy rock, red rock beneath it, and not the ground of this room. The hellhounds seem to prowl within this circle. With the aid of Timber's Pass Without a Trace, you were able to sneak up on these hellhounds and unleash first a radiant fireball from Wiswick that burst with light across the room. And as the hellhounds turned and saw their new prey, Timber used his new glove of the storm, and used all of its charges to cast chain lightning on these creatures, which immediately burst out, sending Timber flying back 10 feet. The gauntlet singeing and smelling of ozone off his hand as the lightning arced between these hellhounds, turning the first one into absolute vapor, completely destroying it, and then critically injuring the other ones. As you engaged in this fight, more hellhounds seemed to usher forth from the portal every now and then, and you turned your attention to this tuning fork that was floating, spinning above. What looked to you beneath it was the typical dais of um, a teleportation circle, and what you Timber was the first to attempt to dislodge this tuning fork. He went up to grab it, to pull it from its position, and found himself staring out into the vast expanse, wasteland of the abyss on the other side of this quantumly entangled space, where beneath him he saw the dais and the stonework of the lower levels of drift march, but beyond the circumference of the magic of the tuning fork was nothing but this wasteland. Rocky outcroppings where hellhounds stalked beneath the rocks, and a whole pack of them began heading towards Timber before he was pulled out of it when both Kieran and Cal were able to destroy the tuning fork, which ended whatever sort of entanglement was happening here, which allowed you to finish off the rest of the hellhounds. And here's where you stand now, having just defeated these creatures, catching your breath after an intensive fight, putting out the singes on your armor, and tending to your wounds. What would you like to do?
Nice job, Sean. That was only 12 minutes.
Ooh, we forgot to bet.
Was it 12 minutes?
It was.
Felt like so much shorter.
For you, maybe. I thought I was going to fucking grow 3 more inches of beard.
Okay.
Well, you know.
All right, we're in it now.
Oh, sorry. The portal opens up again. There's 12 hellhounds that jump out, and they all go right for Cal.
Damn it, Tim.
Wah.
Well, for breaking the rules, I have grenades. No. So, we're sitting there in this cave.
Yes.
Slash.
This room is a lot more
Less
room
cave.
than cave, yeah.
Wiswick's gonna go back to the vat or like cylinder device that he saw in the room earlier.
Yes.
And he's just gonna inspect it, see if it has some sort of magical property that he could identify just from looking at it, or what he makes of it.
Give me a Arcana check, please. What are the rest of you doing?
So the tuning fork was destroyed, correct?
Yes, you watched it completely burst into shards. Currently, based on what happened at the end of the last session, Timber is very shaken by his experience.
Yeah, Timber is in the corner of the room, like just coming down from an adrenaline rush and just looking like out, like up at the ceiling, just like have one hand on his chest, just be like.
I'll go over to him.
I got a 12 total, by the way.
So quickly to resolve that. So, Wiswick, it is immediately like you don't really need a high roll to identify that it is magical in nature. It's very old looking though, and it is sort of the tube comes up, the tank, and it is like completely cracked and shattered in the front, almost like an egg that's been cracked open. Roughly the size of Zafra. The glass itself is very dirty with this fungi that has now grown all across it which indicates to you that this has been like this for a long time, and the fungi is similarly grown on the ground around it where maybe whatever liquid was in this vat had spilled out. There is the green light that you're familiar with from the other chambers is glowing from the bottom, and I'd say with a 12, you can look in and investigate the runes if you like. You do notice that there are runes in the base that are where the light is emanating from.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Okay. Give me another Arcana check.
Oh
Cal
my
is
god.
Investigating the damage to it coat.
13. I
Okay.
rolled a 2 and a 3, folks.
At the very least, you can identify that these are necromantic runes. But that's all you can really get from it.
Huron's going to, while inspecting the portal area, turns to Timber and goes, "When you touched the fork, what did you see?"
Okay, this is at the same time, Scarlet, you get up to Timber.
There was a pack, a large pack of these hellhounds completely surrounding me in a dusty sandstorm.
Was it all red?
It was.
When I first entered the portal, I saw something like that flicker before me, but I was able to maintain my hold in this reality. It's this plane. Do you know anything about planar magic, Timber? Or you, Wiswick?
I do not. I know people that do, but not experienced it myself.
Can I roll to see if I can identify what plane that was?
Yes. You can give me a Arcana check once he asks you that. Scarlet, you were going to say something.
Yep. Timbo, are you alright?
I'm better now, just very shaken, and also I'm bleeding a little bit, but I'll be okay.
Kieran, can you help him?
Well, I can. We could also just rest for some time. So I don't expend any of my spell slots in case we encounter more danger.
That sounds like a good idea. I can sleep
16.
this off.
So, I mean, something I think you would, those of you with higher passive perceptions, I'd say something that's higher than a 10 at least, which should be most of you, I believe. There seems to be like a life coming to this room more since the portal was closed. You see like out of crevices, like some rats start to come out, and like just like generally there was an oppressive nature to this portal that was just sort of pushing back. I mean, you even saw the sandstorm was coming into this plane of existence from the portal. You got a, what did you get, Wiswick?
16.
Okay, so I'd say you, having kind of, especially occasionally read about some extraplanar magic in the when studying under your uncle, especially considering your interest in the strange dark gods that the strange evil gods that the Zerf Nebulin are starting to form cults around. The description of that and the general depiction of these hellhounds that you saw would make you believe that this was either a layer of the abyss or something within the hells.
Well, I think you just got a view of the layer of the abyss, or perhaps hells.
And the corpses of the hellhounds all around you have completely deteriorated into the black ichor that is indicative of fiends. Kieran, you would be familiar with that somewhat, just from your experiences in the valley, in the Advtanage Valley. There is a region in the Advtanage Valley that you would know of that is corrupted by the blood of Bayoret.
Yes.
And that there are fiends that often stalk those regions, and when they die, they turn into this black ichor.
Well, I hope that no one has to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little concerned for whoever's going to be living at this fortress. I mean, I know we destroyed the device, but I'm sure that that's not the only thing that can maybe, like, I think this place is probably more of a connection than the device. It was just like the thing that was allowing it to open so drastically. From my assumptions, I think that this is probably not the best place for a fortress, but who knows, really? I really don't. I'm not much of an expert on this.
Do you think that we should destroy this thing? Can we destroy the runes? Can we
I want to look around the runes.
can we utilize the runes for? I've seen teleportation circles before.
You would be able to note that the teleportation circle is intact. It's not destroyed like the one you saw in the Barrows.
Intact, like the one that we saw at Orland's tower in Brackland Glen.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we know who has those the details of that teleportation circle? I know one of us wrote it down, but I don't know where we left off with it.
I think you had written it down, given it to Curon, and he had discussed it with Mandrick, but nothing ever came out from it.
Yeah, because Curon, you have the blueprints that Orland was working on that had a different teleportation circle sequence than the one in the tower. That was that Mandrick said was him working on finding a way back to the Fae.
Right.
Yeah. So it was different. So you have the blueprints for a teleportation circle, and then you have the actual runic sequence for the one back in the tower. So you do have the sequence for the tower.
I think Wiswick is going to say,
Perhaps we could. I don't really understand. I don't think my magic is at a level yet that we can make good use of it, but if I jotted a copy of it down, maybe we could use it for future use once I understand the process of teleportation a little better. Also, I'm kind of interested in that vat over there.
Wiswick,
Yeah?
is that the first time I've ever heard you say that your magic wasn't going to be useful?
Look,
Because I think it
Cal,
might be.
you know,
Caliph,
magic
do
is
not.
tough. I'm not going to pretend that I'm the greatest magician that ever lived. I just know more about magic than anybody else.
Oh, okay. I understand now. Sorry. Carry on with your ruminations.
So yeah, Wiswick, you could definitely take down the runic sigil to keep this in your notes for future reference.
Great.
What was that? Did anyone hear that?
I heard that. Do you think we should rest with that around?
I think we should rest before that shows up.
That sounds like a good idea.
I will actually say, Huron, if you give me a quick perception roll.
God damn it, Sean!
God damn it, Sean!
God damn it!
Oh god, Nat 20.
I will say, Huron, since you
so
got
30
there.
He sees through the walls.
Completely coincidental ambient sound effect that came through. You hear it for real in the game. There's actually some sort of like creature-like groan that you hear, and with a nat 20, you can hear that it's coming from above you.
Well,
See, and you kind of
whatever
see,
we
whenever,
do.
as soon as you hear it, you see like Zafra has kind of come into the room. I think he was already in the room at the end of the last session.
I was about to ask, like, where is that little creature?
He's coming in because he heard the commotion stop, but then like as soon as you hear that, he immediately like.
Speaking to Zafra in Undercommon. You heard that. What was it? From above.
Zafra don't know. Zafra does not know. Only saw creatures here. Portal, fire, shadow.
Zafra, how did the portal open? You said this is your home, yes?
Yes. Portal. Zafra saw the portal light. Zafra was speaking with Svevneblin and then Zafra One amongst them not his people. Pointing to Wiswick. Frightening armor. Size like you. He points up at you. Small arm, not with the big arm.
Right.
This is more like you. But he's more like you with his very hammer. Light flash. Flee with the Civ Neblin. Did not see one like you. They locked me out then.
Did you hear that, Wiswick? It sounds like there was some kind of elf with him down here. Maybe that was the drow that you were so ready to blame this on.
Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised. Tell me, Zelfros, do you remember when you were in that thing?
And I point to the tube.
Neil kind of his head whips over to it. He's been distracted as he was talking, looking down at the ground and seeing everything has been completely destroyed in this space. There's just the only light in here is the green light from the tank and a very small brazier that's been mostly burnt out that just has kind of red coals in it. As he's just tank. Suffered. Don't remember everything. Suffered been here. Very long time. Many years. Suffered. Saw green light. Trapped for many years. Till little crack. Splits. Like egg. Suffered. Born. Many visitors. Do not remember many.
I say in common.
Well, he's not very useful.
My undercommon's a little rusty. What did he say?
Just that he doesn't remember much. And there was an elf. Probably the one who started this mess with that fork.
It is odd that these separatists, or whatever you want to call them, they would have as a basement guard a planar shifting, right? That's what you said, planar something shifting tuning fork. That seems a bit overkill for them, right?
I don't know if the two things were connected.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, I'm a little concerned as to...
And it sounds like there's something much scarier than those hounds we just fought above us.
Well, then.
Well, to me, it sounded like the elf was with the Snivneblin. I'm concerned that they might be being rused for evil.
Who, the Snefneblin or the elf?
Probably the elf? I don't know.
So the elf is being
Who could say?
rused for evil.
I did think rused is a
No,
word.
the elf is probably rused.
I don't think so
think
either.
rused is a
Cows.
word.
Japed?
Japed?
Swindled?
Swindled.
Swindled
Manipulated
works.
is the word you're looking for.
Japed is not. No,
So it's okay. I know it's a second language.
it is. It is a second language.
So,
Well,
all right. So it's
yes.
better to just do a thing than live with the fear of it, right? So, I say we scout up ahead a little bit.
Can we?
Want to take a short rest quickly?
Yes, I need
How
to
short?
tend to my wounds at least, please.
Just
all
an
right, let's do
hour
it.
so that we can use some hit dice.
What?
I mean, cool boy.
Restore some
Alright, yeah,
health.
I say we short rest.
I don't know if this is the best place for it, but I'm down to take a break.
It seems secure at this point.
Is there a
Also-
door leading up?
There is, yeah. He said there was, right?
Yes, there is a. So if you, Kieran, you got crazy passive perception. There is a set of stairs, and when you look at them, they seem to go to nothing. Though there's just flat stone where they go to.
Maybe we solve this mystery after a quick rest.
That sounds like a good idea.
Short rest.
Yeah, during the
Go
short
ahead,
rest,
Andy.
I would also like to just see if I can scoop up some of the black ichor into a vial.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Cool.
Wiswick would like to take some vat goo.
That goo. Okay.
Is there any
There is-
vat goo?
There is kind of like a gelatinous.
Cube.
Yes. This whole room is a mimic now. No, there's sort of amongst the like strange fungi that grow off of the side of the vat. There is kind of like this gelatin-like leftover ooze. It seems like whatever liquid helped spawn these fungi, but also some of it has just sort of solidified somewhat, almost like the consistency of like fat, really. So, you take your hit die, you take your short rest, get what you can from that. Say as you're sitting there, you have occasionally will hear again some sort of similar grumble from above. As you're just sort of sitting in the quiet, Zafra
If I
at one
pay-
point grabs a rat with his big hand, starts to eat it in a very grotesque way.
If I pay attention, is the roar of whatever that thing moving around, does it remind me of the remora, the giant worm we fought out front?
Give me a nature check.
Oh, I'm good at those.
Go leech roar.
Can I assist since I also heard the worm?
Thank you. Yeah, that's so much better. It's a 19.
I guess based
Would
on
have been
the
a 4.
understanding- yeah, it does not. It doesn't sound large enough to be the another worm, particularly a mother or parent worm.
So once our short rest is complete, actually, I could bring this up now during our short rest.
At the tail end.
So we actually have. Does anyone know? Anyone have their almanac on them?
They're what?
Almanac. It's a thing.
Sean, are almanacs, do they exist in this culture?
I feel like they would. Somebody's got to keep track of crops, right?
Yeah, there would be almanacs, and there would
Okay.
be like there'd be a farmer's almanac,
Yeah, right.
the druid's almanac. Yeah,
What
there'd
about
be
Poor Richard's almanac?
no, yeah, there would be almanacs though, in multiple different kinds, like those that farmers would keep, those that magi in a college might keep for astrological events.
Does anyone know what time sunrise is tomorrow morning?
What would we roll for that, Sean? Nature?
Nature, yeah, I guess.
Let's all do it. Let's see if anyone knows.
See every character's best guess at when sunrise is.
Wiswick is definitely the best at nature, but also does not understand the concept.
Natural 1, so definitely not me.
Yeah, Wiswick, you've had altogether like a month of experience with the sun.
I rolled a 19 plus 10, but I will omit that and say that I don't know anything.
Yeah, Wiswick, you pretty much are just like, what's sunrise? or like, I've read about sunrise. It's definitely a thing.
14.
I think I saw it once when I was what's it called waking up early.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I got a 16.
21.
21. Yeah, would you?
14.
Okay, I'd say I guess all of you except Scarlet and Wiswick would presume that you're probably like since it's at the tail end of your long rest, that sunrise is probably about 7 hours away.
All right, so honestly, we have plenty of time to. So here's what I think we should do, and I'm flexible on the order here. I think that we need to go scout out the direction towards the castle. We need to make sure that there is a path through, and we're not just assuming. Also, sounds like there might be some kind of creature up there. So, step 2, deal with the creature. Step 3, or perhaps this is step 1, and I haven't figured it out yet. That's plenty of time to go back to Kinsley and tell him that we do have a way in and to be ready. Because that kind of does need to be done, or we need to send with a capital S him a message. Though it isn't that far back to the rope, so.
No, but
It isn't. But now the question becomes, do we pursue now? In my mind, I think
we need to know if
we pursue now. And then,
yes,
if
We
need
need to
be,
Send a message to the general first.
Why are you guys so like hasty to tell the general what's going on? I mean, I don't know if he's in the right mind to do this. He might just kill everybody inside if we tell him.
what?
That's a fair point.
This was the whole reason we were here.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to think for my people that live below. I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Well, it seems like they've been able to avoid the spherules here.
I'm sure that they can handle themselves.
I guess so.
My point is, I don't think we're going to be able to take the castle on our own. You know?
right. Our mission is simply to open the front gate.
Correct.
And then we
But
are
before
leaving.
we send a message, we should make sure that we have an actual route to the front gate.
Correct. Or else a lot of people are going to assault the castle wall they can't get in tomorrow.
I'll make sure to reserve a spell slot.
Energy.
Energy.
Yep.
I'll make sure to reserve some energy to contact the general should we get close to our deadline. If we find it sooner, we can simply go
Report.
back the old-fashioned way.
That sounds good to me. Any issues?
None.
I have some, but not to do with this. Staring
Well,
at Kel.
All right. 5 minutes to finish whatever long rest we're still. Whatever. I don't know.
Short
I say
rest.
the amount of time it requires us to finish our rest.
Yes, you can easily enough.
And then I
Just
examined.
get ready.
So those hellhounds, they were spewing fire a lot,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
I'd like to see if there's any scorch marks or ash on the ground.
Yeah. So give me an investigation check.
Also, just a quick.
I don't really need like.
Did you say the tuning fork was destroyed?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a 9.
Okay. So yes, there are scorch marks on the ground.
Excellent.
They are in. I guess the one thing you would notice is that they kind of like if one of them was in the circle when it unleashed the breath, the scorch mark has like a very clear line where the portal was, where it's no longer scorch.
Understood. All right, I'm going to. If I can do this while resting, short resting, because like it's not going to be a manual labor thing. I'm going to attempt to collect as much ash as I can in like anything, in like a bowl or a cup, just like something.
Yeah, you can spend some time during your short rest to
Excellent.
try to find like a a vial that's not shattered in this room, and you do end
Yeah.
up finding one, and you can definitely scoop some ash into there.
Cool. And I'd like to pour a little bit of water in and make a paste.
Okay.
And then I'd like to paint my face with it. And in a pattern that clearly breaks up the outline of my face.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone else is as pale as I am, but I don't remember. Well, if Timber's a wolf, he just looks like a wolf, and that's that. So
Yeah.
anyone else who I think could give away, because this will be a nighttime thing, right? So anyone else who could like light would glint off them, I would like to be like, hey, put
So
this
you're
on.
trying to help yourself be a bit more stealthy.
Yes.
Like the new look, Kyle.
I was like, for a second, I was like, are you trying to predator mud yourself? Which you kind of are.
Kind of, yeah, but more in a. I'm thinking more like grease paint
like,
style.
Yeah, like a commando going in at night, putting.
Correct.
I want to
As I
try
wear my
talking
bright
to
white coat, so I
Zafra.
would take that off too.
Right, your bright white coat and your hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so easy enough to do during your short rest.
I want to talk to Zafra one more time.
Okay, so you see him there. He's just like.
Disgusting.
I look at him and I say,
I know you don't remember much, but I hope you can give me a little bit of your time. I just want to see if I could jog your memory. There's someone that I've been searching for, and I think you might know a little bit more about him if you could just remember. Will you help me?
You helped. Zafra help you.
Great.
I use minor illusion,
Mhm.
and I depict the image of Drift March that I saw when I was once in the other plane, and I saw the 3 images of different settings.
Yes. Okay, so you depict the drift march.
Yes, I depict the Drift March symbol, and I say,
Do you know what this is?
So when you say symbol, you mean you depict the painting from the moving painting from the room.
exactly, yes.
Okay. And you see Zafra looking up at it, and he's just. He puts his hand up against it, hand goes through the illusion. Zafra. Seen this. Zafra has seen this before. This is outside. This is above. Zafra have seen this. Yes.
Good. Great. I'm glad. Here, let me do more.
And I show the other 2 images.
Okay. He'll kind of look to all of them, and he has this face of like half remembrance, like he's some memory that he can barely hold on to.
I'm trying to take this like slowly and calmly, and I let him like mull over each one. At the end, I show him one of the golems that we saw there, like the large constructs with the runes on them. And then finally, I want to show him an image of himself, which is the statue.
Okay. Let's see.
You're gonna break his mind.
That's the plan.
All right. So
Fart
what?
noise.
I'd like to scoop that up.
Yeah, all right. Just do harvesting his brains.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this, then I would say, give me a. I'd say just give me a charisma roll for kind of taking it carefully.
Well, I'm real good at charisma. We got a 4.
Okay, so Zafra is like he's like with it. He's with you on this journey for most of it. You show him the runic sentinels, and he's just like, yes. And then finally, when you depict the statue of himself, you just see him like his eyes just go really wide. I mean, his eyes are completely pupils essentially, but they just look like black holes as he's just staring at it, just like. And he'll just put his hand up to the face and try to grab it, and his hand goes through, and he's just like, and he's just like, he starts to just sort of thrash around, and it's just like knocking the like debris on the ground with his larger arm against the back walls. You can see like this vague memory came into his mind of recognition of this, and just something within him sparked, and he's just visceral anger is coming out.
I think Wiswick.
You would all be
Kinda
like
just-
resting during this. You're like finishing up your rest as you like watching. Oh, Wiswick's doing something with Zafra, and then suddenly just heavy breathing, and just Zafra just like whips a bunch of like shards of glass against the wall as like his arm. You can see the shards are in his arm as he's just now kind of like thrashing around. Just a total tantrum.
By the Everflame, Wizard, get them under control. I'm not finished bandaging myself.
What did you do to him?
No, guys, it's fine. This is good. He's remembering things.
That's,
And I keep the image up.
You're torturing him, Wiswick. Stop! And Kieran's gonna go try to, like, kind of, like, restrain Zafra, like, hold him back from hurting himself more.
Do you want to like? So I guess give me a strength check.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Nat 1.
Oh, what is the total for that? That one.
Nat 1.
Yeah, so I was like really expecting you to beat this because Zafra only rolled a natural 3. I mean, he's super strong, so there's a modifier to that. But yeah, so you go up and he's calmed down a little, but he's still like smashing things and just still throwing a tantrum. And you go up and you try to calm him, you try to kind of grab onto him a little bit, and he just sort of like flings you back with his arm, and he not like throws you across the room, but you like stumble
Right.
back. And he's just sort of like, and now he's just in the corner, like.
I changed the image to the Black Spire.
Okay. It's at the spire standing kind of like glinting slightly in the middle of the room that he just sort of looks over his shoulder at it. And kind of comes slowly moving towards it, almost like he's hypnotized by it. As he'll just reach up for it. Oh.
That's right. You can go back if you wish.
I pull out my map that I made forever ago. Actually, I think I might have given it away. Did I give it away to what's her name? If I look through my notes, I'll find it. Saoirse.
Saoirse. Yeah, I think you did, because you told her if you wanted to investigate these, this is how to get to them.
I think I just pull down a piece of paper and I try to remember as best as I can the path, and then I write in big letters Bracklin Glen at the top, and I say,
I saw this place once. You can go back there. this will, if you learn anything in your journey, you be sure to tell me.
Zafra just sort of takes the scroll of the quickly drawn route back to Brecklin Glen, and he's just kind of shaking his head, the long hair just sort of trestling down against the ground. He's like, Zafra, show you up, way up into Castle.
Right. Remember, surface dwellers can be cruel, but they're just like you and me.
Yes. Svevneblin. Cruel to Zafra. Except you. You are good. Thank you. And you see he now kind of like slowly walks over to the stairs and starts to ascend them as he just looks down. Like still got rat blood all over his face too. He's just you go up now.
It isn't a good idea for him to lead. I'll take it. And Timber walks past him. Saying that to Wiswick.
Wait, was this the plan? We're letting Zafra decide?
I'm saying in common.
No. As Timber just walks past him. Up the stairs.
Yeah. And Scarlet will put her hood up and tuck her bright red hair into her hood and follow Timber.
Okay. So as you ascend these steps, you get to a point where Zafra is kind of leaning against the side. It's not a super narrow stairway. It's fairly wide, actually. And you see just stone above you. But then you see Zafra kind of lean against the wall and with his big hand just push. And you see his hand go through the stone. And then he pushes up more. And he looks to you, Timber. And he goes, "This is the way."
I
This is the way.
don't understand you, but I go.
Yeah.
He said this is the way.
Yeah, but he doesn't speak common.
That's right, yeah.
So Timber, like, slow, like, just staring at him, just slowly goes up.
Yeah, and you kind of reach your hand up first, and your hand goes through the stone, and you peek your head up, and you can see he's lifted up a stone tile from the floor above.
Okay.
And as you look up, you can see just sort of like a couple feet away from you is a wall. It's very dark in this space that you're looking in, but you are in another level of the castle. You can't see much from this angle. It seems almost like it opens with the tile, like where you're facing a wall, but behind it might be more. Probably the actual room is behind where the tile lifts up.
Okay. I want
Ron's gonna take off his armor real quick.
Okay.
I'd like to get up out of the hole and kind of just take a first glance around. You know, like head out first, then slowly the body, and
Do you want to make a perception check?
I would. Ooh, hello, 18 plus
18.
6, so that's 24.
Okay. 24.
That's
What are
like
you,
that's
Kieran?
Kieran eyes. wait. Hold on. I'm gonna play this fair. Do I have disadvantage because it's pitch black?
Oh, for some
Are you
reason I
playing?
see
Are you
that
playing Darkness Rules?
I am playing Darkness Rules, so yes, you would have disadvantage.
Okay,
You don't have dark vision?
not yet.
I assume
Well,
you
it's still 16. I got a 10.
Didn't you used to?
No, I have dark vision. It's just you have naturally dark vision doesn't give you
yes.
dark vision doesn't.
Dark vision.
You still get disadvantage in dim light.
Yeah. If you have dark vision and the light is dim, like it is in this current situation, well, yeah, you still have disadvantage as opposed to not being able to see at all. Timber, actually, the light of this space, once you look up, you can see some dim light in there. So I would say
So I can go back to the 24.
yes. Yes, I'll say yes, because there is
Okay.
some dim light in this region. It's not entirely pitch black darkness. I'd say with that, you do notice that there are some, like in the distance, some torches lit. But they're kind of coming through. The room you're in is pitch darkness, but there is sort of an opening doorway that leads out into a greater hallway where you can see some torchlight coming from that space. With that 24, I would say the thing that at first you kind of like you peek around the stone tablet, you're disoriented because the whole space is dark, but then you see the torchlight kind of against the wall in the next chamber, and you kind of wait for a moment curious, and then you hear like just a heavy footstep, just, and then you hear a very quiet footstep that's just like boots hitting the earth, and then you see just faintly a shadow against the wall outside of the room, where you can see there is some sort of hulking figure out there, that its silhouette is being pushed, shadowed against the torchlight wall.
Okay.
Torchlight
And
wall.
they're being so the hallway. So I'm looking through a door to a hallway, and they are both being silhouetted against in the hallway.
You can't. You see at least one large figure silhouette. They're not. No. Silhouetted is the wrong word. I'd say a shadow is being cascaded from deeper in the hall against the wall. So you're seeing torchlight that's casting a shadow of the large creature against the wall.
Okay.
Because the room you're in is so you have the room, and then directly in front of you is the end of the hallway, and then it seems to go down further.
Got it. Thank you. I'm gonna peer back down to where everybody is. Okay, so there are two individuals I can spot. One seems to be a large hulking figure, and the other seems to be a smaller, probably a beast tamer of some sort. Or I don't know. But it's definitely there's two footsteps. Large and small. The small ones sound like boots. Anyway, I'm going to get up slowly. Follow my lead. I cast Pass Without a Trace. And
I make sure that my goggles are on. I don't think I said that.
No, that's a good call. Because
I'd like to imagine that they make the as they, like a little like the, I can't emulate the noise, but you know what I'm talking about.
I wish I could too, like, bing. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Vizek, tell Zafra to stay here.
Zafra, stay behind us. There's scary things about.
Yes. If Zafra, we'll see you again. Thank you.
You'll see us. You'll see me again. Don't worry.
Like, it's as you say that and you step up, like he seems to immediately close the stone tile and disappears down below. So what you see when the stone tile comes down, it almost vanishes into smooth stone all around it, so that it's very difficult to spot where this exit is. So you're all in this smaller room, looking out into a hallway where there is torchlight that you can see. It is very high concentrations of bright light and a lot of dim light all around in the room. How would you like to? You're stealthing in. Are you trying to sneak around these people or sneak up on them?
Trying to figure out where they are, where we can go, and then decide from there. And if we can get if we can get eyes on them too, to see what they are, that would be also ideal. So that's what Timber would like to do, but Timber wants to lead the group after making a decision of what he sees up ahead.
Okay.
Wiswick's going to quickly drop one of his magical socks of finding right where the exit is, so he can keep track of it.
Easy enough to do. I'd like you all to make stealth checks, just for having ascended into this room.
Is it stony in this room?
Yes.
Do we have pass without a trace? Did you say
Yeah.
yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
25 for Cal.
Same.
25. Nice.
29.
Kieran, what'd you
20.
get? And Scarlet, what'd you get?
32.
32. Okay. So as far as you're concerned, you have not been heard as you've ascended. You all at this point can hear, in the next room, you can hear the and then the occasional footfall of metal boots. They almost sound like heels in the next room. And just the very like it's a sharp contrast between the and then just the tap, the simple tap of these metal boots. So, Timber, you are moving up ahead to try to get a view of them?
Yeah. Just to peek around the corner, see where they're at, and where other areas lead to. Like if there's any other doors.
Mm-hmm. So as soon as you look out into this opening, you can see, you're kind of like Skyrim style, looking for where to hide and keep the stealth eye closed. You can see immediately, well, the first challenge is there are 2 torches next to the door that you're exiting from.
Because of that, I'd peek around the corner first.
Okay. Give me a perception check for peeking around the corner.
Ooh, are you 18?
18. Okay, so I mean, they're not, the people in here are not hiding, so just looking, you'll be able to see them. The first thing that catches your eye is the hulking form. They are very large bipedal creature. Hold up, there it is. It's very gaunt, despite its hulking size. So like its chest is almost like concaved in at the like the diaphragm, with like a larger muscular chest coming out. It has this gray leathery skin all across that is in stark contrast to like these golden bands almost on the arms that kind of wrap around, that seem to be like its only form of like clothing or armor, so to speak. It's mostly its natural kind of gray leather hide, and these golden like ribbons almost wrap around the arms and then wrap around the chest and the waist area. It has these great big leathern bat wings on its back that just sort of are closed up behind it, but they're very large. Its face is completely featureless, just completely featureless gray, and it has ears that look almost like elven ears, where when light casts through them, the thin membrane of them, it's red like, similar with the wings. And there are just these 2 great golden horns that come back, like almost like ibex horns. And it is just sort of next to a humanoid frame that you can't get a lot of detail from at this distance because they're at the other end of the hallway, really. But they are completely armored. It looks like they're wearing armor across their entire body. You see no sign of skin or flesh. And they have kind of these plate shoulders that come down to these plate gauntlets. They have a hood up, and it seems to be a part of their attire is robes that are over what seem to be plate armor, very Templar-like. But you can't get a lot of details like coloring of the fabric or weaponry on them. But they seem to be just sort of investigating the room themselves with this large creature behind them. And what did you get again? You got an 18?
I got a 18, yes.
Yeah. So you would also notice that there are corpses on the ground that look like Sverls.
Timber's gonna stop and turn around. Okay. These are not Sverals. Sverals were killed on the inside.
Aren't
How
they
do
the
we
ones
want-
holding a castle?
They were until these two showed up.
Wonderful.
So, my vote is to do what I like to do and just avoid combat, if we could.
Isn't that our way in?
By
Sean,
Yes.
spatially,
Yeah.
set this for me again.
Yes. So you have ascended. So yeah. So you say you have Drift March here.
Yep.
You've ascended from below. So you're not necessarily like on the main floor level where the bridge is. You're probably at another lower level of Drift March here. Timber, you would have been able to see that there were some windows above. It's a
Okay.
very tall ceiling in that room. It seems like it's probably the first baseline level of the Drift March fortress that kind of overlaps over the side of the cliff. That kind of like a space beneath that you could probably look out. More bunker-like, really, than the top fortress part. So you've ascended onto the next layer of Drift March. With your assumption based on the size of Drift March outside, it's a very, very big fortress. So there probably is at least one more layer above this one before you reach the bridge level. But it seems to be a long hallway. In Timber, you would have seen at the end near where they are, there is a doorway there. There are other doors on the sides that you're unsure of where they lead to. It's just a long hallway. It has 3 pillars in it, Timber. One that is kind of crumbled down and been somewhat destroyed and leans against one of the walls. Something just fell down in my kitchen. This room is like real old looking when you looked in, like from what you could see in the dim torchlight. Like there's some rubble around. Like this is a space like if you were in a museum for Drift March, this is the cordon off space because it's not safe for visitors to see. And it's probably not where they were keeping. It's probably not where the Zveros were mainly gathering, but maybe where they kept supplies or sensitive things that they wanted away from the upper layer. You didn't see any supplies. You did see some broken down barrels and things like that. The Zveral, the quick glance you saw, the Zveral corpses, you mainly just saw them. You didn't really get a chance to see like if they had gaping wounds on them, if they were arranged in any way. You just noticed that there were corpses in there in the dim light towards the center of the room. There are torches along the walls, they don't seem to be placed in like uniform fashion. They almost seem like they've been placed haphazardly. There's one large brazier in the middle that is burning. It's not like a raging fire. It's just sort of a small fire that's still going. Like it was probably, if there's any indication that you might be able to get from these torches is that they were lit earlier in the evening, and that whatever happened to these people and these 2 creatures here must have been recent because of the way the torches are.
Because the way the torches are. So, yeah, it must have been recent.
Okay.
Of course, that makes sense. Yes.
Do you want me to try and
Fresh
take them
torches.
out? At least one of them?
Well,
So here's my concern. If we make a move on them now, and there are still Sverals in the rest of the castle, they're going to hear that, and they're going to come down and make it a bigger issue for us, right?
Correct.
Then do we
Did-
just
Our-
wait for them to keep going?
Our only objective is to open the gate.
Correct. But I
Did-
do think that this. Wiswick, go.
I mean, did he say that thing had bat wings? I mean,
I did say that.
It's probably from the hell world.
That is my belief too. I cannot
So,
surmise what the humanoid figure is. So
I mean,
Could be
that thing is
cheaper.
definitely bad news. Should we try and handle it after it
No.
takes care? You know,
No.
enemy of my enemy?
no, Bisvik, we want to avoid combat.
Yeah, exactly. You let
confrontation.
him do the work.
It's not
There's
about
gonna be
it.
conversation.
Then how
Oh,
do you propose we
I
do
misunderstood. I am
Here's
sorry,
my
Bisvik.
thought, because we don't want to make a move until just before the gate needs to be open. Not just before, but you know what I mean. Soon before the gate.
All
that?
right,
Hourglass just went over.
all right. When they have Zebek's turns, I want to run in a direction.
What? Why?
I would say, just for reference, for the hourglass that just went down, it's Timber. You hear the turning around of the large creature.
Oh, that's what I hear. Okay.
Yeah. So when
no.
the hourglass is down, creature gets to the end of the hallway.
Okay, the creature is coming. We need to either hide or there doesn't seem to be another room we can go to. So
Yeah, we'll retreat down the way we came. We have tons of time to do
okay, all right, let's go down. Everybody, get back down.
Yeah, so we just head back down far enough down the hallway.
Okay, so you search for it and you find it and you pull the stone up and you head back into the lower layer where Zafre is.
I take my sock.
So just for our reference, because I think it's because I'm looking at the combat camera that the viewers cannot see. You have us in like a side room.
Yes,
Are we
correct.
like in a side room of this long hall?
Yes.
Okay, so theoretically, this creature could have walked down the hallway and not seen us at all because we're in a side passage.
Right.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
But I figured if we would raise our voices, I figured we should just cut that off.
So are we just going to wait then?
No,
Well,
no, I think we
Timber
need
just
to...
went somewhere, so let's wait for him.
No, but I
'Cause
do
he's
think
the
that
only
we should...
one that saw the room.
He described it to you, though.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, based on what we know of how the castle's set up, right? This is a sub-level in the center, Sean? Or
Yes.
is this the gatehouse?
No, this is the center.
Okay, so we would have to come up through this thing, fight our way up to the bridge level, and then across the bridge to the gatehouse.
Now, are we positive that's the only way up? Timber said that there's multiple doors, correct? In the
Yes,
hallway?
he said that there are other doors in the hallway. It's
So
the only
it's-
way, though, that you would have seen from the room you were in.
Right.
Does somebody want to make me invisible and I'll go scout it out?
It's
That's a good
doable.
idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do that. I think we also should send a runner that could be me back to report to the general on this, because this is clearly something else is going on here, and it's possible he doesn't want to invade a castle with his troops that is currently held by a bad demon.
Most likely a fiend.
Sure.
Perhaps a demon or a devil?
Didn't I just? I don't. None of this. This has no meaning to me. You're just
And-
saying words.
Well, it should. I mean, I feel like they're real things, the abyss and the hells, right? So like,
Yeah, that's like a magic thing, though.
Yeah, I would say that they don't, like, except for maybe in some of your, more esoteric classes you may have took as a youth in Storm
Yeah.
Rain, and you, your attitude, you would have probably not paid attention in your your planar cosmic map class.
So they're the planes, right? I go, how much does this affect me? And they go, pretty much not at all. And I go, sounds good. Have a good
Is
day.
it-
This
Well,
is one of those
clearly
moments where
affecting-
Kieran, you would be able to be like, oh yeah, that's right, Cal is a 20-year-old human.
Didn't
I am
pick
a
that electric.
200-year-old elf.
Your ignorance. Something.
Now, this demon,
So
he does not seem to have any
apparently
facial.
it could be a fiend or
Okay,
a devil.
I
and that's
apologize. Fiend.
Or a demon. They're different.
So demons
not
and devils
Regardless.
are both fiends, right? Fiend is the general term.
It has ears. It doesn't have any other facial features.
important. Right. Oh yeah.
Which
we
means-
moved. Were you here when we moved?
No.
They
Oh,
went.
yeah.
They decided to go back into the tunnel beneath, so that you could talk without fear of the monster hearing you.
Ah, yes.
Okay. They also, while you were gone, Alex, they talked about making Scarlet invisible so she can stealth up and investigate some of those side rooms and maybe the end of the hallway.
Hmm.
I have another proposal as well, but I'll wait till you're done.
No, that is it. But it hears based on sound, not sight. So invisibility will not help unless the little one relies on sight.
I think invisibility will help. Pretty much regardless.
So, how long do we have until the gate needs to be open?
6 hours and 48 minutes probably at this point.
How long does
That sounds right.
invisibility last?
1
An hour.
Oh. Well, if you wanted to get this over with quickly, we can wait until it's time. You can make me invisible, and I can go let down the gate, and we'd be done with it. You can send a message to the general telling him that's what we're doing and to be on the lookout.
I mean, that sounds great, Scarlet. You think you're up for it?
Can how big is this gate? Can you single-handedly open the gate?
I don't think it's the kind of gate you just.
Yeah, it's. I think
Pretty
it's
sure
not,
it's
it's
pull a
yeah.
lever. I'll figure it out.
Perhaps turn a
That's
winch.
possible.
I mean, I could.
Sean, how much would I
potentially
know
turn
about
into a
siege architecture?
Not a lot about this castle, probably. You would know that it is typically like a winch kind of situation for larger gates.
So, here's my only concern about that. If this is a situation where it's not just pull a lever, right, but you have to work to open it, you're going to be there clearly impacting a thing, even if you are invisible. So if there is anyone still on the gate, any spheres, I would have said it right. You're not going to have anyone covering you, and they'll be able to attack you freely.
Well, how many people can go invisible?
We
I
could
can
potentially-
probably manage one cast of it, but I could also disguise people or myself.
I think either way. I think honestly what we need most right now is information. So I think going
Correct.
invisible now and scouting out is more beneficial than that later.
Agreed.
Fine.
Information is valuable. Let's initiate this.
So let's do that. Somebody make
Kieran
Scarlet invisible.
slaps his hand, gently slaps his hand on her face and casts invisibility.
Why does it have to be the face every time?
Your pure essence of your connection to the divine. I don't know.
Just
It's fun.
Just can you try it not to my face the next time, please?
No.
All right, as you watch the
The
light
face
sort
is
of.
the second most like a moon. on the human.
Haven't you ever heard of the
confused.
faces of the moon?
And I'm not going to pick your butt.
I'll show you a moon.
So, in this very serious moment, You get slapped in the face. No. You feel the magic come over you as you all see Scarlet disappear at this point. So remind me, Scarlet, you what are you doing? You are going up above to get more information.
Yep, I'm gonna go scout in that room to see if there's another way, like up. Now Shannon's not very good at visual things, but Scarlet would be. So
That's fair.
As Cal is going to lift the stone for her to crawl out of, he's going to be saying, like, get as far as you can towards the gatehouse. Try and get as much information about everything as possible. If there are still Sphreels in there, try and get their numbers if you can. Good luck. As he lifts the stone up.
You climb out.
If you see a drow, run.
Remember, you only have 1 hour.
I'm gonna say that
Do you
they
have
said
your
all of
kids?
this. They said this all before you ascended, so they're not screaming up into a very high ceiling hallway out there.
I was talking
Definitely waiting
Oh,
for
no, no,
maximum
no.
echoes.
Was not talking about you, Cal. I was talking about the other two idiots who were shouting from the bottom of the stairs.
You only have 1 hour. Be careful. Be home for supper.
Curfew's
Very
at 9.
Cut.
Be very quiet. So Scarlet,
You forgot your lunch.
So Scarlet, it is very. You immediately feel the tension as you hear the stone below you. You know that you're alone up here now with these two creatures. So what? How do you want to approach this?
all right.
So you can use the battle map as a reference.
Yeah,
Alex, if you want to throw the battle map up for folks, you
Sure.
can.
Can you point out where doors are?
Yes. So there is essentially, if you want to do you want to step out and just look?
Yeah.
Okay, since you are invisible.
Yep.
Okay. So, Scarlet, I say that you step out from here. So there's a door here. Can you immediately kind of like come and hide behind this pillar?
Yep.
Give me a perception check.
21.
21, okay. So, a few things that you would notice. You would immediately notice kind of peeking around. Well, first of all, this guy, this fiendish creature is right here.
Cool.
It's moving away from you. So it's not looking at you. So you can see it moving away, kind of walking around, heading back towards its master. You would notice all the things that he had mentioned, that it is featureless face, it has these bat-like ears, bat-like wings, with this gold, like, it doesn't look like armor or metal, it just looks almost like
ribbons?
Like ribbons, yeah, they're all around its body, that glitter in the torchlight, and then the two massive swirly golden ibex horns that come off of its head. You would notice that there are 6 doors, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. And then there is a door at the end of the hallway where you can see. And what did you roll on your perception again?
21.
Okay, so you can't quite make out all the details of the humanoid. You kind of are like, I'd say you're like leaned up against the wall of the pillar, and you're like looking over, trying to hold your breath a little bit, let out your very quietly. Do give me a stealth check real quick.
Oof. 15.
I would say there's a point where you look around the corner and you see some detail of the humanoid. They are wearing like dark red robes over dark plate armor. It's got a black and red motif to their appearance, and you can see that there's the red hood over their head, and you see them turn and look towards the creature, and what throws you off for a moment is the mask. It's not a pallet mask. It's a plate helmet that looks ancient. It's got like pocked rust all over it. It has like some like just a lot of oxidation to this mask, to the metal of this mask, to the point where it looks like it should fall apart if someone touched it. But the thing that's most distinct about it, and Scarlet doesn't know what this is a cross guard in the center of the mask that is glowing.
Shannon knows what it is.
A bright color.
Yeah.
It is glowing like a blue color.
John, you say cross guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the right term. It's just a cross opening on the helmet that is emanating a blue glow. Cross guard is not the right word for that.
I had suspicions.
But yes, the color is this bright blue color. And
Archaon, the ever chosen.
They're not court robes, right?
No, I mean, for a second you're like thinking about that because you
Yeah.
just noticed the red and you're like, court? But
Yeah.
it's not.
Okay.
I would say when the figure turns around and looks to the creature and looks up at it, the creature doesn't like say anything. It doesn't say anything to the creature. Give me. Well, no, actually, the reason I started describing this is because you technically didn't succeed in your stealth roll.
Oh no.
You notice as you see the two figures, you kind of for a moment like you have like a gasp very lightly and then like pull yourself over behind because you look at the person looking around and just the magic seems really intimidating in that point. You only catch what I just described for their visuals and you hear like some of the stone move beneath your feet, scatter across. And it's something that in a normal situation, like just like the grinding of stone beneath your boot is not going to cause much disturbance, but there's very tall ceilings here and you hear it just echoes out. And you just see the creature. And the figure, you hear some light speech come from the figure that is a language you've never heard before. You're still invisible though. But they
I'm
have
not moving.
But they have heard something, and this creature is heading back.
Fuck. All right. As it gets closer, I'll like edge around the pillar other side. Like I know I'm invisible, but like I don't want it to like accidentally walk into me.
Oh yeah, you're gonna Frodo it when he's hiding from the cave troll.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna move around.
That's your one.
Yeah,
Thank
Lord of
you.
the Rings reference 1.
Yeah.
Give me another stealth roll.
That's better. 24.
You kind of hold your breath and you put yourself up against the stone of the pillar as you just hear this creature. The way it like you just hear this like deep inhaling that has this vibrato to it. And you can kind of actually almost get a quick glimpse of the creature in its face where Timber saw featureless. You can see there are no eyes, and the face kind of like comes up to these like really sharp cheekbones that kind of have like the skin is almost like stretched across it, and you can see like holes in the skin that are like vibrating when it's like as it seems to almost be sensing the this like it's a big nose demon. No, no, but like it's very frightening looking and so past the like horror to what you see like this creature. You can see its claws now are very sharp. It has no weapon on it. It just has these large claws and it's like strange gaunt inhuman form that's almost like a mockery of the humanoid form. But with that roll, it seems to not notice you as you just see it looking around. Just this very aggressive inhaling sound.
I'm not moving until it goes away or moves away.
Takes a little while, and it does kind of like there's one point where it like steps into the corner and you watch it look into the room where you came from, and then starts to head back towards its master, so to speak.
Okay. So you said there's 3 doors on the left and the right.
Okay. Yes, so there's a door directly across from you,
Okay.
and there's doors in the middle,
Uh-huh.
and there's doors over here,
Okay.
and then there's a door back here.
Okay. Based on, I'll leave it up to you to know how much Scarlet would know about the layout, but would I know what side would potentially be closer to the gatehouse?
So, based on, I guess, give me an insight check, because you haven't you've been underground for a little bit and you haven't really
Yeah.
looked out. You don't 100% might not 100% know your orientation right now.
8.
Okay, so you're not sure where the gatehouse is.
Mhm.
The only thing you're sure of is that you are not up to the bridge yet.
Okay.
So none of these doors will lead to the gatehouse. They may have stairs in them that lead up, but all you know from what you can basically insight from this is that
Yeah.
you are on the lowest level. You'll need to get up at least maybe 1, maybe 2 more levels before you get to the gatehouse level.
Okay. Well, I guess I better just start looking. I'm gonna ping pong across. So I'll go to the one directly across from me first.
Okay. So they do have, this one is open, like the one you came from.
Mm-hmm.
The other 4 have doors to them.
Okay.
It's just wooden basic doors. They're very old wooden doors that are
Yep.
they're warped, and some of them they look like they've just seen much better days, and they're twisted and rotting.
Mhm.
You can presume actually when you get closer that the doors of these rooms had completely rotted off or broken off and had just been ripped off. The inside of this room, so it's very similar to the room you just came from. It's very
Okay.
small. It's probably 10 by 10 or 10 by 15, and there's a lot of you see this room has been turned over, like it's been emptied out of whatever was in it. There's empty barrels that have been knocked over. You see scraps of supplies, so you see some water that was spilled out of one barrel. You see some, a single sack of grain that has been ripped open and spilled out. This seemed to have been some kind of supply room that was very recently emptied.
All right. Then I will. I'll scoot over to the right, and I will go for the door on the same side.
Okay.
The next door on the same side. Yeah.
Okay. So you see kind of an upturned table that you can hide behind. As you get closer, I need you to give me a stealth check, and if you would like, you can give me a perception check as well.
Okay.
The perception check is at disadvantage though, because you're focusing on stealthing.
All right. Well, my stealth was a natural 20, so that's a 30. And perception was a natural 1. So I'm real stealthy, but I can't see anything.
I'd say you're a little too afraid at this point to really be able to look. You actually you try to look, but you see that light emanating from that helmet, that just immediately you're like, I can't look, I gotta get down, and you duck down beneath this side table. So essentially there's a table that you can sort of see right here.
Yep.
That you're kind of crouched down behind.
Yep.
The door is right in front of you. It is a wooden door. It is closed.
It's closed. Handle?
Yeah, there is a handle on it with a lock.
Okay.
With a keyhole at least.
Yeah. All right. I will very, very carefully and quietly try to turn the handle to see if it opens.
Give me a stealth check.
Ooh. Oh, God. Okay. 28.
Okay. So you are very quiet when you go up to turn this door handle. but the rust of how old this doorknob is just screeches through the hall. But you're roll a high enough stealth where you don't just like keep going. You stop. You stop as soon as it starts to make noise. The big creature doesn't seem to move.
Okay.
But you hear as the other figure seems to be heading in your direction.
Okay. I will back up. I'll back up against the wall. Maybe like, yeah.
Up to the side?
Mhm.
All right, so you kind of flatten yourself up against the wall to the side as the figure starts to head towards you. Watch them approaching closely. You can hear kind of like this constant staticky sound coming from the light in their crossguard. Just sort of a almost not exactly, but kind of like the humming of a lightsaber. Maybe like the ferocity of like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, that sort of sound coming buzzing from it.
Sequel.
But they start to slowly approach you, and you see them looking around. And you're leaned up against the wall, flattened. They look right at you.
Fuck.
What do you do?
Oh.
You have 6
Can
seconds
I-
to do something.
Try and dive into the door and try and close it behind me.
The door that you couldn't open before, or I guess you didn't try to really open it.
Yeah. Did it like? Yeah. Did it open? Or was it locked?
It didn't. You didn't get far enough on the. Oh, it definitely wasn't locked because you could feel it start to turn.
Yep.
So you want to dive into the room?
Yeah, and just try and like, slam the door behind me and be up against it. I don't know. That's what she would do.
Okay. All right. So.
All right, so if Cal, like he would have been doing, we just didn't get a chance to address it.
Yeah.
I would be right under the thing that I just let her out of. I would
Yes.
be paying attention and trying to listen.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay. Give me a quick perception check.
Yeah, that's pretty good. This roll brought to you by Talon and Claw. Talon and Claw. 19. That's
Okay.
a 19 plus something. So it's decent. 3. 22.
Sorry, I just saw the Zeal Zaddy in chat saying beardless men are not okay on a Paradise stream, and I just want to promise everyone in the stream the beard will return. I also don't like having a naked face. I've gone too far. But
There we all shave in solidarity.
but anyway, Cal, these
You don't want
creatures
to see
are
my doughy ass. Sorry, go ahead.
these creatures are not trying to be particularly stealthy, so you could definitely hear. There's different points when you're concerned about going up or not, because you hear like the creature like coming. It's very much like when you're like stealthing in any game and you just like are going off of the sound and you're around the corner, but then it calms down. I would say that at this point you do hear enough of a commotion that you would think like, oh shit, that's like a thing that's happened, because you would immediately hear the screech of the doorknob open as she pushes the door open and slams it behind her. You would hear the slam. You would immediately hear as the larger monster is heading over to join this humanoid. Scarlet, you are able to dash quickly towards this door. The creature, the humanoid that you see would immediately attempt to cast something at you, but the way you're dashing and the invisibility would cause it to what's that? Okay. You see a fire bolt, not fireball, fire bolt just shoots past you and hits the stone next to the door as you slip in, open the door, roll in, push it closed, and put your back against it.
Yep.
You're still invisible. but they are outside the door, and you look, and there's just a storage room like the
Fuck.
last one.
It wasn't even worth it. Cool.
But Cal, you would definitely hear the commotion. You would definitely hear the fireball shooting off. You would definitely be able to be like, oh, shit's going down.
Yeah. Okay. So I would turn to everyone and go, and then lift the stone.
Okay.
And fucking all right, let's go. Let's rock and roll.
All right, I will need everyone to
Oh,
give me
shit.
an initiative roll.
Sorry, guys.
Ooh, I forgot to
Hey.
use the word black.
Oh
It's only
boy!
your fault.
Oh boy!
What are you so excited about?
I got a nat 20, boy.
Me too.
Nice.
What's that?
It's something that Kieran doesn't get for dexterity rolls.
What?
What?
I just was being an asshole, and you were supposed to be like, "Hey, screw you, Alex," and I was supposed to be like, "Ha ha ha! You reacted to my mean response."
Okay. All right. Could I
Flawless
get
delivery. Flawless.
It was
These are wasted
actually
nat 20s, honestly.
20 to 25?
24. No, yes, 24.
No, I think you got to go a little higher because I got a 27.
Jesus.
You get a +7 to initiative.
Yes.
He has his intelligence.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, wait. Oh wait, no, that's right. Okay, so Wiswick, Timber.
Think so much. I move fast. You know, that's how.
Yeah. All right. 15 to 19.
27. No, sorry. 17. Jesus. 17.
Okay.
Oh, 19.
Okay. And then Kieran, what'd you get?
8. I also don't have my armor on.
I was just gonna say, you need to put that back on.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take another 10
no,
minutes.
his AC's low enough. Like, who cares? He can just
Okay.
die.
No.
Shit, where'd it go? Okay, so that is a 18. All right, Wiswick, you are up first, and then Timber, you are on deck.
Okay. Can I get in visual range with my movement?
Let's see. So you guys, I'm just putting you down, saying you had enough time during that kind of round where Scott was jumping in and stuff. So Wiswick, let's see. 15, 20, 25. Yes, you would be able to get within visual range of the. You could get right here on this side of the pillar, which would give you visual range of the enemies.
Can I go next to the pillar, like kind of almost hiding behind it?
Yes, you can actually. You could definitely be able to peek out and be able to have, I would say, half cover behind that pillar.
Awesome. I will do that, and I will also cast Fireball.
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 Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Wiswick, go ahead and roll the damage for that. What's what type of saving throw?
Anyone else in the castle knows we're here now.
Yeah.
Look, there was already magic that was shot off. I'm just retaliating.
Okay.
It just happens to be a very large retaliation. I'm gonna go with ice. We're gonna hit him with a giant ball of frost.
Is that gonna go through the door?
Hopefully. I mean,
Rude. So rude.
What type of saving throw?
Put your armor on.
The saving throw will be,
For the next 10 rounds, putting your armor on.
I guess, Constitution or Strength. We could do Strength. We'll do Hail.
Hail. Okay. Strength. Okay.
You know, a hail ball.
Yeah,
So
it's a
that's
big
nice.
crystal,
Alright,
a big
so-
ice crystal that shatters and dashes down on them.
So the Archmage creature, the Magic Boy, got a nat 20, and the big boy got a natural 1. So full damage to the
The bigger boy.
aberrant horror, and
Okay,
half
I
damage
will-
to the other one.
So
I
we
will
were all
spend
wrong.
a-
We called it a fiend, we called it a demon, and it's actually an aberrant horror.
I just need. We're entering combat, and I know this is going to be intense. I really need to use the bathroom.
It's okay, Sean. People
Okay, I
have
gotta
to use
do
the
math anyway.
So while you're doing math, Timber, you are on deck, then Cal, so you guys can plan for your round when I get back in 10 seconds.
All right, I lost one dice, so I'm gonna re-roll it.
Are you?
So I think that the problem with today's youth is it's the whole they shouldn't have grown up with the internet. That's what it is. They shouldn't have grown up with the internet.
Really? I thought it was the problem with lack of fruit.
And that's awesome.
There's a lack of fruit right now. There's a drought.
A dearth? Is there a
A,
dearth?
d- a, dir- a dearth, yeah, exactly. And there's not enough. Yeah, these kids are not getting enough natural sugars from their fruit, and
I don't
that's
know if
why
you
they're
guys
so nuts. That's why they pee their
go on
pants all the time.
TikTok at all.
When's the last time we actually talked about fucking D&D?
What is that?
When we play it.
All right, I'm sorry. I meant when's the last time we actually talked like strategy?
I don't know. We don't need to.
We are basically zero table talk.
We walk in there, be like,
Guns
pew
a-blazing.
pew. Exactly.
I rolled so many Arcana checks before.
How many is so many?
I'd be like, I'm gonna attack you.
It's pretty good. I
That
got 35 damage if anyone cares.
35 damage.
Sean, we figured out how we're gonna kill everything.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That 5.
Planned it perfectly.
We planned it perfectly the entire time you were gone.
All right, I can't wait to see what you do. All right, 35 damage, you said?
Yep, cold damage.
Cold damage. Oh, let me double
Brr.
Okay.
Maybe if people ate more Cheerios.
All right, so you watch as these icy frost just explodes around them. You watch as the mage, kind of for flavor reasons, just sort of brings up somewhat of a shield, magical shield that pierces through and covers most of it, but it gets hit by quite a bit of it. Or they get hit by quite a bit of it and takes half damage. The creature seems to just take the brunt of it, and it seems to not quite deal as much damage as it should, but it does deal damage. Okay. It also starts to split open the door. So Scarlet, you watch as the door behind you starts to fall to pieces, and there are big chunks shot out of it. The door itself is not completely blown off, but like it's pretty much not a door anymore. It's pretty much like a saloon door. But
That's
it should
what, right?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, at least this big thing definitely can't fit into that room.
Well, the big thing can't. You still cast spells through it.
All right, Timber, you are up, and then Scarlet, you're on, or Cal, you're on deck.
Sean, as a minor action, can I if Wiswick is willing, can I snatch a dagger off of him?
Wiswick, do you have daggers kind of hanging off of you, or are they in your bag?
I would imagine that they are quickly to grab, but they're like in a pouch on my bag.
Got it.
However, I probably only have one, and it's probably mine.
Yes.
You gave it. Did you have two before? Because you gave a dagger to Zafra.
That's right.
Okay, so you have one. Okay.
All right, never mind.
So, okay.
I mean, I'm not holding it. You could do that.
Okay. Well, I'd like to just walk by and be like, just grab it, look at him, and be like, I have this.
Mine.
Say I'd allow it. I'd allow it.
Okay. I want to. I don't. Where is he positioned? I'm sorry.
So Wiswick, it's kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but Wiswick is behind this pillar here.
Got it.
Right here. You are right here, so you could easily 5, 10,
Yeah.
25. It would be 25 to get to him, and then you have the rest of your movement.
I am going to cast Hex on the big boy, giving him Constitution disadvantage. And
Okay.
I'm going to huck the dagger and the inkswell
At the big guy?
at the big boy.
All right, go for it.
Don't do it.
I think I didn't do it, like you said. I got a 16 for the first one.
What's the range on a dagger, by the way? I never remember.
Oh,
wanna
wait,
say-
no, it's actually 20. Holy shit.
2060.
And disadvantage 60.
Yeah. So you'd have to get a little closer or suffer the disadvantage.
Oh, alright, I'll get closer. Screw it.
Okay. Cool. How much movement speed do you have left? You used 25.
Then I have 15 left. Wait, would that give me 20?
Yes, it would actually just get you within 20 feet
Okay,
of that.
alright, well that's 16 for the first one, anyway.
That just hits.
Alright, I'm just gonna roll the second one for now.
Go for it.
That's not gonna hit. That's a nice 10. Sorry, Wiswick, your dagger's somewhere else.
Gone forever.
These damage dice are pretty good though. That's a good old 9 piercing damage and 5 necrotic damage.
5 necrotic and how much?
9 piercing.
Okay, and this was Wiswick's dagger?
No, this was the kunai.
Cool. All right, so you watch as these the shadows of your hex kind of latch onto the creature. You can see kind of the smoky shadow all around, kind of trying to latch on and pull the creature down as your Inkswell dagger flies across, or your kunai flies across and pierces right into its chest as you see the shadows almost like gather around it to deal that extra necrotic damage. The necrotic damage seems to not quite deal as much as it should, but the piercing damage, because of the hex weapon, is magical, so it does deal full damage. All right, and what was the second one again?
Oh, I missed.
Oh,
I missed that
dagger.
attack. Yeah.
You hear it skitter across the stone floor into the distance. Okay, anything else, Timber? That's everything. All right, Cal, you are up.
So I think, yeah, the only thing I can do here is I think I'm just gonna dash
Okay.
to get in behind one of the, or as close to those enemies as I can, which should be about.
You can get up to either of them. Which one do you want to get up to? The wizard is right here. The creature is right here.
Yeah, you know what? I'll yeah, no, there's fine. I'll put pressure on the wizard.
Okay. All right, and that is your turn, correct?
You got it.
Okay, so the wizard now is going to see a barrage of folks coming in to help out with their current predicament. Cal, up close now, you can see the form of the wizard. They're wearing heavy plate armor underneath this crimson robe. You can see the sigil on the chest is these very sharply pointed. There is 7 points shooting out that are these jagged, long. They almost look like really crudely made blades, but it is golden in color. And then you see at the center is just a golden circle at the center of the 7-pointed star. The 7-pointed star. It's very. It looks like a perverted version of the. It looks like a dark version of the Gwyn sigil.
Got it.
As
The other thing I was going to ask is Zendariel's 8 points, right?
Zendariel's 8 points, yeah. So he looks to you immediately, seeing kind of Timber behind you and maybe spotting Wiswick peeking out. And they are going to immediately cast. You see the visor, or the cross in the face immediately loses its light. As this, suddenly you hear the crackling of fire behind you. As you see the figure brings up a gauntlet that is the gauntlet is a similar aged look to the helmet. The armor all looks very ancient, and like it could crumble at any point, but it's being held together. The hand comes up as you see these arcs of fire rippling around the fingers as you suddenly the room lights up, and behind you, a firewall erupts. Oh, where are my firewalls? Oh, look.
Sean's like, I bought this. Gotta show it off. It's actually my dining room plate. Looks like I don't know, a napkin?
I'd use wall of fires as coasters.
It looks
Yeah.
an awful lot like fire. But...
Yeah, but I mean, Sean's house is made of dwarven forge, so like, I don't know what
That-
function this would perform in his
Put it off
house.
the wall.
Yeah.
Just like, oh look, a firewall grew off of this tree in my house. All right, so then I will need Timber to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
That's a lot of fire.
Ooh, I'm gonna swoop by that with a 25.
Oof. Okay. All right, so you're only gonna take half damage
So sad.
as you leap back and take.
Not the fur!
12 points of fire damage.
Is that halved?
That is halved, yes. All right, so yeah, that's all the wizard does on their turn as he erupts this firewall behind you, Cal, to try to split you from your party members.
Is it possible, if it is, for me to dodge on the other side? You continue drinking that beer. Or I don't know what you're drinking.
I would say yes, you can, but it would require you to dive through the fire, so I'll give you disadvantage on the saving throw. So you just have to re-roll the saving throw if you want to do that, if you want to risk that.
Well, I'm gonna have to go through it anyway, so.
So go ahead and give me another roll for the saving throw.
That's an 18.
Break the wizard's concentration.
18. Yep, that just makes the save.
Cool.
Because you are able to jump through with only taking that
That half.
that half. Oh dear. Okay. So that is the mage's turn. Scarlet, you are up. So you would be able to see now through the brokenness of the door. You could see Cal. First of all, there'd be this light that erupts from the firewall, and you would see Cal engaged up against the wizard, his sword out, ready for his next move. And you would see Timber kind of rolling out from the fire and landing right behind Cal. You see like singeing fur and smoke coming off. As you see, the wizard is not looking at you right now, and the beast, the big large creature, is behind the wizard.
All right. So
He is engaged. They are engaged with Cal, so
Yeah.
sneak attack is on.
yeah. So she'll think for a second about like making a run for the door at the far end.
Yep.
And then she won't. And is it cool? I'm doing this for flavor. I want to like barrel roll through the broken door and like huck my dagger of return at the the battle mage.
Advantage? All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make an attack roll. And is your plan to keep moving past that after you attack? I guess you probably got to decide once if it hits or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the attack.
17.
17. 1 second. Wait. Where is my freaking shit? 17. Where's my 17 does not hit.
But the armor's rusty.
Well, that's what I guess that would be something you would note. That's weird. Is you would expect the armor to start to disintegrate around as your dagger does hit and just sort of bounces off, like skids across the shoulder and then
Cool.
back into your hand.
All right. Bonus action, switch hands and try it again. Nope, that's lower.
Okay, so dagger.
Damn it.
Okay, so you're still you kind of barrel rolled out of the room. So you are behind. I'd say you're behind the table.
Yeah.
You kind of threw it out there from the table, and unfortunately, it just you watch as the lights kind of are glinting off the armor and just. And this is a formidable foe.
Yeah.
Kieran, you are up.
Woo! How long would it take me to put on my medium armor? That is 5 minutes to dawn. Would it take 5 minutes?
I'll allow you to don your armor.
No, it's okay. You know what? No, Kieran's brave. He's brave.
Okay. So then, yes, it would take you 50 rounds to don your armor if you were to just use the 5 minutes to don it. So
Kieran curses the need for stealth, yeah, he curses it and walks out so that he's in the room proper.
You need some yellow Drake medium armor.
Yeah, right. Well, I need heavy armor. Is what I need.
Yeah,
because I'm proficient.
So what are you doing?
Yeah,
so
gonna head out the room.
You immediately see the firewall before you. You can only see Wiswick on your side. Everyone else is, you assume, is on the other side. Sorry.
Oh, so I can't. Would I be able to see the wizard?
Yes, because it is firewall is, I believe. Let me just double check. Is opaque, so you can see through it.
Okay.
So you, yes. So, wall is opaque, so yes, you can see through it.
All right.
Imagine it's like through the licking of the flames. You can see the other side.
Through the fire and flames.
We carry on.
Okay, no. Okay. We're going to start off strong and cast level 3 guiding bolts at the wizard.
Okay. Excuse me. Go ahead and roll to attack.
Yeah. Ooh, 17.
17 does not hit.
All right. Ooh. If I bonus action Steps of the Brave, can I get over that firewall?
Yes, you can, because the ceiling is 30 feet tall and the firewall is only 20 feet tall, so you could definitely get over it. Dim light, right?
Yes.
Then no, never mind.
Oh,
Fire, we're creating bright light all around it.
Poopy. All right, gonna kind of like get up behind that pillar with Wiswick.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, by the undying court, I feel useless. He says, grasping his glaive, looking around, naked and afraid.
Oh boy. All right, that brings us to the aberrant horror. Okay, so the creature is going to. It is going to go up to. Let's see. All right. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to outstretch those bat wings and start to just lift itself over and land on this other side. And is going to go for 2 attacks on Cal. All right. So, with its claws.
Dang.
First one is not so great. That is a 13 to hit.
Get out of my house.
Oh shit! I better start using my Talon and Claw dice.
You know
That
you
is
can't be the word Talon, right?
Talon.
Nope. You said, well, yeah, you said it right there. You said Talon. Like you do it
Talon.
every time. You go, my talented claw.
All right, well, change his natural 5 to a natural 20 now. It misses both attacks as you see these 2 big claws come crashing towards you, and you're able to avoid them. That is the Advercore's turn. It is now Wiswick's turn. Timber, you're on deck.
I'm assuming, because it's kind of a mess of minis in there, that I can't hit both of them if I was going to cast Shatter without hitting a friend.
Without hitting a friend, no. Yeah, your friends are all like clustered in within 5 feet of both of them. 5 and 10 feet of both of them. Because what is the radius on Shatter?
So it's a 10-foot radius? Yes.
So yeah, you would have to hit. If you tried to get both of them, you would end up hitting either Scarlet, or you would end up hitting Cal and Timber.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Instead, I think I'm going to cast just a regular Shatter on targeting the mage, the Archmage, and just like aiming it so it's like up the hallway so it only hits her or him or whoever that is.
Okay, so you are casting regular Shatter?
Yeah, we're going to give it a try. Constitution saving throw, DC 15.
Okay. Alright. DC 15, con.
Mm-hmm.
That is a natural 7, so they do not succeed.
Okay, is any of that rusty armor non-magical? Because if it is, it takes double damage.
So it's if it's wearing any non-magical armor, right?
Yeah, a non-magical object, that isn't being worn or carried, also takes the damage if it's in the spell's area, so I guess I'm very wrong. I'm still rolling damage, though.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah.
Pretty good rolls. 8, 6, and a 5.
8, 6, and a 5. Okay, and that's going to be the normal thunder damage?
Yes.
Okay. So you all watch kind of like this just booming sonic boom hits right behind the mage, almost like pushing them forward a little bit as this loud bang echoes through the hall as you just see some of like the flakes of the armor come shooting off, but it does take the full damage. What was it again, the damage?
I want to say 19. Hold on. 8, 6, 5. Yeah, 19.
19, all right. Oof, that's a lot. All right, so anything else, Wiswick, as this shattering boom just knocks the mage forward? You see the armor kind of spewing off rust.
Is at the edge of the wall of flame, does it go all the way to the wall, or does it cut off right at the edge?
No, it's straight through, wall to wall.
Okay. I go back into the hallway, where I came from.
I took a picture. Okay, so you're gonna slink back into the hallway.
Yep.
Okay. You could definitely do that. All right, Timber, you are up. Cal, you are on deck.
I'm going to cast Hexblade's Curse on the big boy.
All right.
Bonus action.
Yep.
Also
Double hex.
correct. I'm looking. Where can I get flanking with either Cal or? I'm trying to find out where Cal is right now.
Oh, you can either you could flank with Cal or Scarlet. So
Okay.
Scarlet is right here, within 5 feet.
Oh, okay,
Cal's right
I'm gonna
here.
just. Oh, I'm gonna do it with Scarlet then. Boom.
Okay, so yeah, so then you can go right here.
These
minis are getting real close to each other.
They are. I am going to swipe.
Go for it.
$24 for the first one.
definitely hits.
Yeah. And that is 8 piercing. No. 11 piercing damage and 2 necrotic damage.
Okay.
Next attack.
And
I'm gonna use a key point to try to stun it.
okay, and just you have the key empowered strikes, right? So your attacks are magical.
They are not.
So you guys are level.
They are not.
Oh,
No.
because you multi-class. That's right. Okay. So then, how much was the damage on that first strike again? It was 3
11.
necrotic. You said
It was 1 necrotic.
1 necrotic. Okay. And
And
then
11.
9 piercing or 10 piercing.
11.
11 piercing.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Just checking, because your piercing attacks are not dealing as much damage. Just your splashes are not dealing as much as they should against the creature, because it is resistant to non-magical piercing and all that jazz.
Slashing.
But slashing, yes. Thank you. But stunning strike, you said, right?
Yep. Constitution.
That's con.
Yep.
Okay, that is 15.
He makes it.
Okay, so he's not stunned, but he does take that damage. Okay.
I got to hit again.
Go for it.
First one. That's a 19. That's a crit.
That definitely hit some crits.
Ooh. So that is 17 piercing and 8 necrotic.
Ooh.
So halved, obviously. But
Yep. So 17 and 8, so that's 25. Okay. Cool.
And I'm gonna use another key point to try to stun him.
Absolutely. Natural 20. So he
Dude,
makes
the
that.
disadvantage, dude.
Oh, shit! Sorry, I did not do disadvantage on the first one. So
Alright.
let me just
Do that.
roll now, and we'll see
Okay.
if that. Because then you can. Well, it doesn't matter. You already crit.
Yeah.
Alright, he is stunned.
Okay. Is that for the first one or the second
I have
one?
it written right here. First one.
Okay. All right.
But you already crit, so it doesn't. You don't want to need to do the advantage for this.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Alright, so he is stunned. So you watch as Timber lunges forward, the fire's silhouetting him as he just brings his attacks and slashes his claws across. And you watch as there's definitely damage, but it's not ripping the flesh like he normally does. But then he brings his palm up towards the back of the creature's head, and you watch as it just sort of. You don't see, like, it has no eyes. There's no, like, pop of the eyes. You just hear this deep exhale from those creepy mouth nose holes on its face. As the creature is stunned, bringing us to Cal's turn.
So looking at this wizard, is he? So he was glowing. His face hole was glowing, and then the face hole glow went away, and
Yes.
his gauntlet started glowing before he cast fire. Is his gauntlet still glowing?
Yes. It seems like it seems like it's part of the concentration of the fire. Well,
Lovely. I'm going to attack him, and I'm going to attempt to disarm him of his gauntlet, but also just his hand, whatever works, you know?
yeah.
However that Whatever best is best on that front. Does a because hang on one second. Damage, yeah. Does a 24 hit?
It does.
Good, because it was also a 25. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Damage time. Do one of these. Do one of those. That is for 15 damage, and he has to do a strength save at DC 15.
Okay, that is a 19, natural 19.
Fucker.
But he does need to make a concentration check. How much damage did you deal again?
15.
15. Okay. All right, he makes his concentration check. So even though you see his arm kind of like drop down as the blade slaps into it, and he looks to you furious, as best you can tell, furious behind the helmet, he pulls the arm up, and the flames continue to burst up and lick against the walls. Anything else, Cal?
Second attack, 20. Dirty.
Dirty 20. Okay, that hits.
Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and just try and disarm him again.
Okay.
For 16 damage this time. Oh, shit. Sean, I forgot to add in...
Acid damage.
Yep. So there was 2 in that last one.
Okay. So that is a natural 20 on the save.
God damn it. All right.
How much was the acid again? Sorry.
It was 2 for the previous attack, retconning. And
Okay.
now it's 16 plus 1.
Okay.
So 1 1.
I mean, this mage is definitely looking. He's taking quite a beating though from you all, so he is definitely looking rougher. All right, Cal, is that all?
Yes.
Okay, so the mage is going to cast at this point. Yeah, he's doing that. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. One action. Okay, so you watch as the mage immediately kind of is scanning the room, and you watch the firewall comes down as he's looking around and seeing the amount of you that are here, seeing the damage that you've dealt to him already. They are going to, you immediately see them begin to cast a spell, and they look up at you one last time. The crossguard glows one last color, and then they vanish entirely. Not misty stepped. You don't see them appear 30 feet away. They are completely gone. But there is still the monster there that they have left behind. They have seemingly teleported away. So, that was their turn. Scarlet, you are up. And then Kieran, you're on deck.
Okay. Since I'm right up on the monster, I'm just gonna try and he's pretty tall, right? So I would only be able to reach maybe his leg.
Yeah, you would definitely be attacking up at his thighs.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna try and sink
Unless you
dagger.
pull a Brian and jump on his back.
No, I'm not pulling a Brian. All right, natural 20.
Oh, I was just gonna tell you have advantage because you're flanking with Cal or with
Timber. Yeah. All right.
But you don't need it.
I don't need it.
Is that with the dagger of return?
Yes.
I asked because that's a magical and it's
Yes. All right, so that was a 1, so 2 plus 4 is 6 plus.
Remember to double these too.
Yep. 8, 9, 18. So what did I say before? 6 plus 18, 24 points.
24.
Yep, 24 points of
Nice.
piercing damage.
Okay, this creature is definitely looking bloodied.
Okay. Bonus action, gonna do it again.
I very much so imagine you just Draxing it, where you're just Just stabbing into its thigh
Yeah.
over and over again.
Stop it! Stop it!
Don't you die?
All right, that is a 21.
That'll hit.
Cool. And that is three more points of piercing damage.
Tiny little extra dagger damage.
Tiny little extra dagger damage.
All right, Kieran, you are up.
Whoa! Each of those little squares is 5 feet, right?
Correct.
We'll just stay back here and cast a first level guiding bolt at the creature.
Okay. Go ahead.
11.
Does not hit. As the scintillating lights cascade past the creature, lighting up that horrifying visage before Cal, who's the last one he attacked. Anything else, Kieran?
No, I think we're gonna stay there. Thanks, though.
All right.
So,
So it is the creature's turn now. And he is stunned, so it is no longer the creature's turn. Thank you,
Nice.
Alex. All right, so Wiswick, you are up then, as the creature is still just sort of. Yes, Wiswick, you are up.
We're gonna go with the good old-fashioned magic missile.
Nice.
We're gonna change it so it's radiant damage.
Real quick, Kieran, did you roll that guiding bolt with advantage because he's stunned?
no.
Go ahead and you can go ahead and give it a second roll for that.
25.
That does hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
9. Radiant.
9 radiant, nice. All right. He watches this this radiant orb bellows forward into the creature, and you see as it pierces into it like almost through its chest, and you can see the radiant light. A nice, convenient target for anyone else attacking in the future. It has advantage on it. The next attack on it has advantage, but it deals significant damage as you watch the radiant energy burning around, like it deals more damage.
Well, it's a good thing I was gonna use radiant damage anyway. Magic missiles.
Magic missiles. All right, go ahead and roll damage for that.
Okay, get all my D4s out. I get 3 of them.
Hey, you guys are housing this. You're just destroying this creature.
So I got.
It was big and threatening, and we're not a live and let live kind of group.
Yeah. It's like, let's let it all out on this thing.
8 radiant damage.
Nice. All right. So this creature is bloodied. As you can see, it's similar to the Hellhounds. There is an aspect of it that is sort of falling apart as it's having trouble keeping itself together. Anything else, Wiswick?
I think I'm gonna. Nope, staying exactly where I am.
Okay. All right. Timber, you are up, and then Cal.
Do the same thing.
Go for it.
Right. How many key points do I have left? Alright, yeah.
Thinking with the pointy end.
That's an 18. I believe that hits.
That hits.
Good old bleh. Is 13 damage, piercing damage, 3 necrotic.
Okay.
Key point to stun.
Okay. disadvantage because of the
X.
EX blade. The hex, not the hex blade.
The X.
All right. So that is motherfucker fails with a 7. All right. He is continued to be stunned.
Bubble party.
Nope, that's not magical, so it doesn't have advantage on that. So yeah, you stun him. He's stunned again as you come in and you bring your claws in, swiping, really trying to pierce this leather hide, and you see some of that black ichor blood pooling out, and then you go in for the stunning strike as the creature again kind of lets out that bellowing groan as it is continued to be stunned for another round. All right, Cal, you're up.
I still have more attacks.
All right,
I know that they kind of tickle him, but like, hold on.
Keep monking it.
All right. God, that's a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. Takes.
You're rolling with advantage, right?
Yeah. 12. The second one was a 4. No, so.
Okay.
It's 12 damage, piercing damage. Oh, hey, actually, it's not going to make any difference, but Timber would be do bludgeoning at this point, realizing.
Yeah.
Flavor. 12 bludgeoning damage, 2 necrotic damage.
Okay.
No, I'll save the last key point.
Okay. Just in case he survives.
But I mean, I'm gonna offhand attack anyway, so like, I still
of
get.
course. More pops.
Pop. That's a 19. So that's another crit.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so that's...
Fuck him.
Sorry. Brain fart. 9... Wait. Did I do that right? 12. 4, 6... Yeah. 19 bludgeoning damage and 6 necrotic damage.
Ooh, nice.
This guy... This creature is like stunned, so it's not reacting as much as it should, but it's just like even with the half damage, it's still a lot of damage. All right, Cal, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna be super original, and
Stab
I'm
him?
gonna attack it.
All right, go for it.
You
probably
should-
with the sword
Stab,
that I
stab.
have.
You
I guess
should,
it's the strongest sword I have.
You should disarm his face.
I don't think I can do that.
Oh, okay.
Though I do wish I could disarm an arm. Like, that makes sense to me, you know?
Disarm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will probably hit based on what I know. It's a 23.
That'll hit.
Yeah, okay. 7 plus 4 is 14, and then the 1d4 of the acid damage is a 3, so 17.
Okay. All right. Still alive.
All right, let me hit him again then.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, thank you, Talon and Claw. That's a 26 to hit.
That hits.
All right, coming back at him. That's less damage for sure. It's like 12 damage total.
How much damage total?
12.
Okay.
Now, as my sword enters him, I'd like to try and get a vibe for how many apples he has left in his basket.
He looks pretty beat.
A lot of apples missing out of that basket.
There's a majority of those apples are on the ground right now in a form of black ichor.
Oh, it might be time then to action surge. So
Yeah.
I think it might be time to action.
Do it.
let's just. Good lord, thank you, Talon and Claw. That's a 22.
All right.
I just
That
been
hits.
it's I rolled a 19, 18, 7. That's just all I've been doing.
So,
No, I'm sorry. That's a 24. I can
everyone buy yourself a Talon and Claw dice.
Talon and Claw.
Oh, goodness. All right. So, that definitely hits, so go ahead and roll damage.
7 plus 4 is 11. You guys, right? 15 damage.
15 damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Good job with the math.
Oh, Talon and Claw didn't make this dice I used. this was made by Adidas, and it's that's an 11 to hit, Sean.
That does not hit. So after just berating this creature with the prongs of the black, just sort of like whipping it with this sword whip that's just ripping its flesh out. The last one, you just sort of like, just like skids and sparks across the ground. The creature is just like falling to pieces at this point. It is very close to death. Scarlet, you are up, and then Kieran, you're on deck.
Okay, I'm gonna do the exact same thing as I did last time. Let's try and finish this fucker off.
Stab it. Stab it.
Stab it, 21.
That hits. Stab it.
Hell yeah.
All those sneak attack times.
Yeah. 7.
This roll brought to you by Arcane Spectacles. Arcane Spectacles.
17 points of piercing damage with my magical dagger.
Okay.
Still not dead?
It's still alive. It's barely alive.
All right. One more time. Here we go. 21.
21 will hit.
Cool. Another 2 points of teeny tiny dagger damage.
Oh, it is so close. It is so close. As you just stabbing into its back. It's like, God, won't you die?
It's exactly
Kieran,
the feeling.
you are up.
Is it still stunned?
Yes.
All right, first level, getting. You said it's pretty close to dying.
Yes. It is.
Can
falling
you
apart.
have it make a dex save for me? 15.
Yes. I believe it has disadvantage because of stunned on dex saves. Yep, it does. Oh no! It automatically fails dex saves when it stuns. So
Okay, I wasn't
it fails.
sure. Cool. So it's gonna take. All right, 10 radiant damage.
How do you want to kill this thing?
Like super like if you could think of a lame way to do this, like Kieran kind of like looks over at it, sees all this happening, and he's like, "Well, I guess I'll help," and he just kind of like sends a little sacred flame over there. So, some flame-like radiance descends on the creature. Since it's stunned, it doesn't do anything.
So as you're all kind of like just beating this thing like a piñata because it's been stunned for 2 rounds, and then suddenly you just see like out of its chest, the same place that the guiding bolt hit, you just see this bursting sacred flame shoots out and just starts to like this effervescent white flame is just completely melting this creature. It's like it's legitimately melting into a black ichor pool in the ground as it's just wailing out just this gust of air coming from its face, and it's just slowly melting. You were all like kind of like stepping back as this ichor is pooling down on the ground around you and getting close to your feet as Kieran's just kind of walking up from the pillar.
Yeah, Kieran walks up, looks like stops right at the edge of the black ichor, pushes the non-existent glasses up his nose, and goes, "Did I do that?"
Jesus.
I imagine he doesn't say anything and he just walks out.
Yeah, he walks up and just looks at it and goes,
As you can see, kind of like these little bursts of sacred fire.
Spin-off show.
You see these little bursts of fire kind of shooting out of it still, the sacred flame, just sort of like almost like trick birthday candle, still like across the pool of ichor as the creature is dead, and the ambient sound of just the dripping water and rats returns around you in the flickering of the torches.
I think immediately after the monster goes down, Wiswick gets hit by a realization, and he thinks, the wizard disappeared, that's a good thing, but it just came from another plane, which means that the only teleportation circle that it probably knows of is downstairs. And I immediately say, Zephyros is in trouble! Or Zephyros, damn it, Zephyros!
You call him Ziffle?
Zephyros, which is a completely different thing. And he hurries down back to the cave entrance.
So any of you watching would see Wiswick struggling to pull up the stone
Cal
tile.
runs over and helps him lift it.
Yeah. So Wiswick, you skid down and you kind of like rush down the stairs, and when you look down there, you just see Zafra just sitting there like just holding like he has like a rat in his hand, and he's got like he's like,
A rat tail hanging out of his mouth.
yeah, absolutely, a rat hanging out his mouth. Do you need Zafra's help?
No, sorry, Zafra. I'm just a little stressed out. It's a little crazy up here.
I heard big noise, big boom.
Yeah, that's not a great thing, huh? Maybe you want to lay low. Go hide.
So I just lumber way back down into the tunnels deeper in the back to the way you came towards where you first found him.
Timber wants to inspect the dead body of the monster.
Scarlet would like to continue looking through the doors now that there's no threat.
Yeah, just to make sure it's dead.
Yeah, Timber. I mean, it's you start to kind of like poke at the ichor, and it's just this coagulated black ichor on the ground. It doesn't seem to react. It doesn't like cling to anything you poke it with. It's just it has a corrosive smell to it. It's very like stinging to the nostrils. Especially for you, definitely be like, oh god. But Everflame.
Sean, is this music indicative of what's still going on?
Oh, whoops! It switched to the wrong song.
Also, Sean, are those golden wraps ribbons still there, or
they seem to be like kind of like grossly like in the ichor.
Oh.
And covered in it, and they are there though. They've lost a lot of the sheen, and they've kind of somewhat burned away most of it, but there is some of that ribbon left within the ichor.
Pick it up and wiggle it. Timber's not doing anything important.
That's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's experimenting about this ichor, but
or is he like, I've got wraps in my arms. These gold wraps look kind of cool. Shannon, give me an investigation check.
You got it. 21.
21. Okay, so you start to make your way through these doors. So the three that you've already checked seem to all be storage chambers. As you're moving through, the two closest towards the back are similarly storage rooms. There's crates with just barrels that have all been, as best as they can, emptied. There's like some bottom of the barrel stuff all around. There's some stuff spilled over. It seems like whoever came through here ransacked this space. It was likely storage for the barrels upstairs, but it's mostly empty at this point, other than whatever they couldn't carry out of this room. The one room in the center on the opposite side there, when you enter into there, this room seems to be, it's also similarly ransacked, but it seems to be somewhat of a armory. So you can see there are racks, sword racks, weapon racks, armor racks. A lot of it is mostly been stripped away or taken, but there's little knickknacks here and there, and other kind of bags and supplies all around. This is some kind of more non-food and water storage and
Mhm.
more armory and supply storage.
Okay, cool. I will back out of that room and I will address my friends. These are all storerooms. There's some weapons in here if you need to replace something, but our best bet is to go straight through this door at the end of the hallway. Apologies for being loud.
Cal nods and goes to the door at the end of the hallway and stealthily looks through.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Real quick, I'm gonna say this. Kieran's gonna be checking the spheralds just to double check that it was these two that had killed them.
Yes. So give me an investigation check for that.
19, by the way.
Thank you. So Cal, you would notice that this door leads to another a side hallway that its main feature is really just a very large set of stairs that lead up to the next level, with some torches lit against the wall. Sorry. Kieran, what did you get for your investigation check?
16.
16. Okay. So these Zverls seem to have been. Their wounds definitely seem like something that would have came from that large creature, or they'd have magical scar, like singe marks on their light armor. With a 16, investigating that kind of dais with the brazier on top of it, they seem to be organized in a way where their corpses create a circle around the hearth or the brazier, and then in a center on the side facing towards the door, you can see at the bottom there seems to be some reagents laying on the ground above like a circular, harshly carved runic symbol on the floor beneath these reagents. And one of them is this like extended black like talon that seems to be like just this black bone. There's some like some gem dust scattered over it, and then like some like burnt out incense around it. It's uncertain if this is a ritual that was performed, or if it was being set up to be performed. It seems strange that it's here because when you came in here, they weren't performing a ritual.
Right.
This doesn't
Does
seem
it-
like a very large ritual.
Does it look like the bodies had been dragged into the position?
Yes.
Okay. So Kieran, seeing this, goes.
And another thing is you would see one of the bodies is in front of the ritual space, and they seem like they were dragged there as well, holding a dagger in it, or like kind of like a dagger in its hand, kind of sitting there splayed out with a dagger in one hand.
Okay. So Kieran, seeing this, seeing magic, goes, Wiswick, I think you should look at this. It looks like they were performing some kind of ritual around this brazier. Around this brazier.
Brazier. I peek my head out from the hallway and say, "Ooh, let me take a look."
Yes.
You mean Arcana check?
Yep.
Can Kieran give him some assistance?
Sure.
Nice.
I might not need it. But let's see. Okay. How about a 25?
That's good. So, what you could identify from this is that it is some sort of. It was definitely meant to be some kind of ritual. You're not sure what the ritual is. You're assuming there's probably some conjuration aspects to it. There are conjuration runes carved amongst the what appears to you like something. Does anyone know what infernal or infernal looks like, or abyssal looks like? Anyone
No.
have that in their languages? Be weird if you did. So you don't know what some of the runes are, but you can clearly identify some consistent arcane conjuration runes. The thing that throws you off is the reagents. They don't seem, with a 25 and kind of trying to think about conjuration spells you know, and kind of trying to think about how, something like an abyssal conjuration spell would work. Like these just look more like they just don't look like the right reagents, which is strange to you. It's almost as if this ritual is not meant to actually happen. It's just supposed to look like a ritual.
This ritual is strange. It seems like it's not organized correctly. Maybe some amateurs trying to mess with something they don't understand, or perhaps they're being framed in some way.
Yes, that wizard seemed well versed in magic. It would be very strange that they're trying to frame the Sverolds into some kind of magical ritual.
I mean, it's a good way to cover his tracks. Although he did not destroy this fork that we took care of downstairs. If he really wanted to hide his presence, he probably would have gotten rid of that. Right?
Well, it may have just been a deterrence while he was still here. To make sure nothing came up from below.
What do you guys want to do? I mean, I could sit here and we could try some rituals to decipher what these words mean, but
No.
I don't know how much time we have.
Holding up the golden wraps that are covered in ichor. No, it's not our problem. We need to go open the gate right now.
And I am willing to bet that someone heard all of this commotion, so we need to move quickly.
So, Sean, what did I see?
Well, I told you saw a side chamber with a large set of
I'm sorry.
stairs that lead up to the next level.
Okay. I must stealth up those stairs then.
Okay. So you begin to stealth up these stairs. Can you give me a stealth check, please?
15.
Okay. You get up to the top steps, and you find yourself in a similar chamber to this one, structured very similarly. It seems to have several detritus all around. There's these really makeshift sleeping arrangements all along the hall that have been seemingly completely abandoned. There's bedrolls. There's put out fires, fire pots, and just very quickly abandoned internal sleeping arrangements inside the lowest level of the fortress.
The quickly put out fire. If I get near to one, is it still throwing any heat?
Yes, it's throwing a little bit of heat. It's got some thick smoke coming off of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep moving quickly and quietly towards. If I see an exit to the outside.
Yeah, from this point, you can almost see it leads across to another door on the other side, and there's probably another stairway in that hallway. You don't see. Well, I guess it's nighttime, so you don't see. You do see windows that face out towards the ravine below, but you can definitely head across the hall. There doesn't seem to be any. It's like a abandoned, as if squatters were living within here, which you could presume were the Zverals.
Yeah.
Could I start following Cal?
Yeah, I would have been too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I imagine y'all would start to catch up with Cal at this point. Cal is about halfway across this second room when you all kind of get to the top of the stairs, and you can see there's these abandoned bedrolls. There's smoke billowing from these obviously recently put out braziers and fire pots. It's very eerie considering you just had a massive battle the night prior.
Can I look around and see if I can see anybody like hiding anywhere?
Sure, give me a perception check.
Also, who has the bag of holding?
Kieran, I think.
Oh yeah, I would put the golden wraps in the bag of holding, covered in black ichor.
12.
Just
That's really
disgusting like that.
disgusting. There's nothing you can't do.
I need that black ichor for later.
He's gonna squeegee it out. Scarlet, you kind of look around, and I imagine as you're all moving slowly through, Scarlet, you're kind of zigzagging and kind of just investigating the space. And you occasionally will just like kick open a tent flap. You'll kind of just scan the bedrolls. Completely abandoned. No
Strange.
bodies. No dead.
Any food?
No. You might find like a scrap of a little old bread, but it seems like they took what they needed. If they left, they took it and just fled. Took whatever they could.
All right, I want to catch up to Cal. Like, I don't want to talk to him, but I just want to get up level with him.
Yep. Okay, you get up to Cal as he's entering into this next space, where you do see another set of stairs that lead up, and kind of these spaces have like kind of like a large semicircle, almost like there's a turret there, and then it goes down the hall into a stairway that leads up to the next level. You can see kind of arrow slits in the wall that you can look out at.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going up the stairs, and I want to look through the arrow slits to see what facing we're in at this point.
Yes. So
Orientation.
yes. So I need to also get my bearings on it. Yes. So the arrow slits are facing outward towards the you can see when you look out them, you can just barely see under the moonlight the cliff sides below that you had climbed into here from. So
it is. So this. And can I see above us?
Yes. So you would be able to see that you are on, like if you're looking out the arrow slit and kind of looking around, you could see in front of you to your left is the cliff sides down below that you climbed up. And then you can see, if you're looking up, you could see that the next floor meets the bridge and the gatehouse. So you're going to reach the gate floor above.
So, so I'm basically looking. I'm looking at the underside of the bridge right now. Like it's
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So we gotta move.
I think Wiswick's gonna stop Kieran for a second, or like while following Cal, he's gonna stop him and say, "This, I think, I mean, if there's no threat here, the ritual downstairs isn't gonna look good for the sphere worlds."
Spells.
Yeah. So should we clean it up? I think maybe we should just like clean it up. So like, not to like. I mean, like
it's not important.
Why do we care? Why do we care if it makes them look bad?
I mean,
because it could be
trying to stop war.
Right. It could be a false cause to start a war between these two nations. No.
Cal's already up the stairs.
Wiswick, while I understand your concern, I think it's better we leave it as is and inform the general the state of which we found it, where, a armored entity with his large aberrant horror were patrolling these grounds.
Yeah, I guess there's no reason for us to lie.
There's never any reason to lie, Wiswick. The honest truth is always the best.
Yep, Scarlet's gone too.
Yeah, I imagine Wiswick and Kieran are they're saying
Yeah,
these as they're the last ones walking out of the. They look around as they're saying this to notice everyone's moved on. So Cal, you get up to the next level, and this seems to be you enter into what appears to have been at one point a great hall, a central great hall. You see several turned over tables that are kind of pushed up together as sort of a semi-barricade towards the left side of the room as you've entered, which you can see leads to a large arched hallway that leads down a hall towards the main gate of the central fortress. And there's all these chairs and tables have been pushed up as a barricade that would have been the long tables of this great hall at one point.
And you may have said this, but I missed it. They're pushed up as if they were a barricade facing the entryway, like the not where I came through.
Not from where you came through, although it does sort of barricade. The barricade
Right.
continues to where you have entered, where you're looking at the barricade.
Right.
They would have
Before
been.
I want to truly enter this room, then
Mhm.
I want to do a scan for people or movement.
Give me a perception check.
That's not bad. That is a 19.
Okay, 19. Okay, so you look in, and this is truly, this is very dark. Your goggles are putting in their work here. But really the only light is some very, very burnt out torches and just the moonlight coming through the large windows, the top part of the hall's high ceiling. And you don't notice any activity from any humans or anything like that. You would notice that up in the banisters of the hall ceiling, you notice some like, and then you kind of look up and you squint your eyes through the goggles a little bit, and you can see that the ceiling is like covered in bats.
Mm-hmm. I cautiously walk out, prepped to be ambushed.
Okay, so you slowly take those steps out into this moonlit hall, and you're not going stealthy, right? You're just stepping out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would say as you step out, there's nothing like triggers. There's no traps. You don't notice anyone stepping out of any rooms. You've got your blade out ahead of you. As you're stepping in, you step out towards the barricade, walk towards the center of it where it opens up into the hall, look back, and you can see down the very dark hallway. You can just see the slit of the door and the moonlight peeking through it of the gates down that hall. But no one ambushes you. There is some slight movement above and scuttling of the bats above.
They don't come down and lift me up.
No, you're not.
Moonlight silhouettes me.
You're not lifted by these bats.
That's probably good. Yeah.
I was hoping for a Christian Bale bat tornado that
that's
as he slowly stands up. Yeah.
No, let's go with it. When he's a little kid, he falls down the well, and you know how bats work. So
Yeah, I would say at this point, Scarlet and Timber come up behind you, and shortly after, Curon and Wiswick.
Why would there be so many bats?
I'm concerned that there's nobody here.
Well,
we can't be that lucky.
Downstairs, dead.
Yes, but that can't be all that was in the castle.
We're not out of this yet.
Yeah, I keep moving professionally
And where are you moving towards the gate or back into deep?
I'm headed towards our objective.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right behind him.
Yeah. Okay. So as you sort of hug the wall, it would be a wall in the left because your right would be opening up into the room. But you hug on the wall and then you kind of slip into the darkness of this hallway that leads to the gatehouse, and you can see it's a very very thick hall. It's probably 15 feet across. As you're moving down it towards the gate, kind of some of you looking back, watching this moonlit hall is kind of almost tunnel visions away as you move deeper into this hall towards the gate itself. You can see stairways that lead up on the left and right as you approach the gate that lead up into turret towers on the left and right. And the gate where the gate is, it opens up a little bit to make more room for defenders. And then there is the walls narrowed down to this 10-foot wide gate that's about 15 feet tall, that has a wooden bar across it right now. And there is a, as you said earlier, a device to open up the gate.
Well, guys,
All right.
Nothing's happened in that room behind you yet. You just occasionally hear the and then the squeaks of the bats in there. And there's so many bats in there that like normally you hear like a little squeak. It's like a rat squeak, but here it's like the way cricket chirps create the chorus of night. There's just this air of squeaks coming from them above. It is very disturbing.
That's very disturbing.
reminds me of home.
So do we open this now or do we wait?
Wait, hold on. Let's check the place out.
I look around
No,
The
something
door-
doesn't
Right.
seem right.
the door frame, and also to make sure that the I forget what they're actually called in real siege architecture, but the arrow slits that go down into the tunnel are murder holes. Thank you. That the murder holes are not occupied.
Yes, good call. You look up and you listen and you look and there seems to be no indication that there are anyone above those murder holes ready to shoot down at you or drop rocks down on you. There just seems to be the echoing silence of this keep.
I don't like this.
Yeah, because you guys are within like the gatehouse of the fort. So there is
Yeah.
the murder holes above. There were those stairs behind the gatehouse that led up to the top, but there seems to be no sign of defenders.
There's
It's
still an
almost
idiot
like-
roar.
It's almost like they're expecting us to do it. This is too easy.
I think they
Or they've
had
all been
other
killed.
reasons for leaving.
Maybe
You
the
think they just
fortress is
left?
cursed.
They did just lose all their men from attacking the. My assumption would be they lost enough forces, and assuming that the general was going to take over, they fled. That would be my guess.
I hope so.
I don't know.
So I
Yes.
want to double check for any visible traps around the gate itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like one more.
Yep. Give me an
And if-
investigation check.
Okay.
Do you want me to check too, Cal?
I do. It's a 3.
It's a 3. Okay.
Mine was a 26. 19
Okay.
plus 7.
All right.
Talon Claw.
Talon Claw.
Yes. So, as you search it, there does not seem to be any traps.
All right. Well, then I'm going to do one more dramatic look around.
You actually, what you would notice is
Big wide shot.
like traps that would have been activated at one point, like, or they would have set up at one point. You know, you see like emptied rivets that could have dropped stones down on you. There's broken tripwires. Like there may have been a plan to trap this door if there is a siege and then retreat to the barricade, but nothing has been set up or activated. Nothing is there to be ready to be tripped.
All right.
How about in
So
the locations? Sorry. What about the locations of where I shot the fireballs in the previous battle?
They'd be up above us.
Yeah, those would be at the gatehouse across the bridge.
Oh, this is just the gate to the keep. All right, you lost me then at one point. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I thought, and then I thought I was wrong, and now I know I'm right.
You guys are at the gate. It's because I said gatehouse at that one point, because it's the gatehouse of the keep that has the turrets and the side up. You'd never
Not the
attack
gatehouse.
Yeah, not the bridge gatehouse.
All right. Well, then that changes the thing I was about to do. So glad I learned that.
You're still within the keep. Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm going to quietly put my shoulder under that wooden bar.
Yeah.
And lift it.
Timber will try to help. Try. He's not very
Well,
good.
unless I clearly see that it's like not that kind of thing, but the way you described it sounded like it was just one of those like.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those like.
Okay. Brace the gate. Just put a fucking tree in front of you. There you go.
Yeah. It's definitely a brace the gate thing. Yeah.
Wiswick's
Alright,
gonna start casting a ritual. I don't know if he'll make it in time, but I want to cast detect magic while inside of the fort, because before there was that big energy, like it had its own magical defenses that was preventing me. So I'm gonna try it. Well, like ritual casting, so I can get the mile long range, because I only have one slot left. And yeah, 10 minutes.
All right. So while you're doing that, Cal and Timber, you're both able to get the bar off the gate and lower it quietly. And you can open the gates at this point if you'd like.
Yeah. Quietly.
Okay. So just one of
Still
the
not
one of
really talking. Still just looking around in like silence.
yeah. This is
I'm
definitely
constantly
all being
looking too.
happening in this quiet, occasional
filled.
hushed tones with just bat squeak filled halls that just echo around you.
Yeah. And these are done weirdly in like 16 millimeters, but even though we have a very tight space, so you like get this sense of like a
Oh yeah. We're definitely going to be using that wide angle, ultra wide angle lens. It's just going to give you that really discomforting effect as you're watching
Panamorphic film. Panamorphic, just wild. What is happening? That's a joke for maybe one of our audience.
It's David Tilstra. That's the jokes for David Tilstra, the only filmmaker I know in the community. All right. So you slowly open one of the two gates. There's a very light echo that pierces through the hall. You hear some commotion from the bats, but nothing yet.
All right. Well then,
You look out.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You look out and you can now see the causeway of the bridge leading towards the outer gatehouse. The kind of it's fairly thick. It's about 30 feet across, and you can see like the triangular crenellation along the sides of it that create kind of a small wall on either side of the bridge leading across towards the gatehouse. It's got a disorienting effect when you look out at it in that panamorphic lens way. Of it almost does the Jaws zoom when you look out at it, as it's just sort of like
Dolly zoom.
dolly zoom. Thank you.
Oh shit, we got to get out of here.
As it's just
we're done.
this very like long bridge, and you can feel the wind shrieking across it, as it is completely emptied of people. And there's no like patrols on there. There's just these iron braziers along it that are smoking and mostly burnt out.
Dutch angle.
There's a Dutch angle with a dolly.
No, cuts to us. Oh my god, that would be ridiculous.
Too much.
Cuts to us, Dutch angle. All right, we got to stop this.
Yeah.
Also,
Sorry.
I think I said panamorphic, and it's anamorphic. And
It's definitely anamorphic, yeah.
I was like,
Animorphs?
Anyway, you look out. The bridge is
No, that's
empty.
me.
There is you can see the ruined turrets at the gatehouse that Wiswick had destroyed earlier, and the lights of the camp beyond the gatehouse.
all right, well then, in the same manner, I'm going to cautiously start walking across the bridge.
Yes, on the opposite side.
Cautiously, but quickly.
This is totally like the point in like a Final Fantasy game where it's like suddenly the battle music comes and you're on the bridge and the turn-based thing, but you start to walk across the bridge. Slowly but carefully. Are you all kind of moving in a line across the bridge?
Yeah.
No.
Kieran, you're staying in the... Well, I know
Yeah,
Wiswick is staying in.
Yeah, so Kieran would actually, I mean, I didn't want to interrupt this, but he probably would have been looking around this space, trying to see design and stuff like that, but we can do that whenever.
Okay. So Kieran, you kind of are investigating around this space as you watch your compatriot heading out into the onto the bridge while Wiswick is beside you doing a ritual. You start to cross the bridge. The winds are whipping all around you. Nothing seems to be happening. So you slowly cross. There's the moons in the sky. You see them reflecting off of the raging river, the white rapids beyond. And you hear the rush of the waterfall drowns out any sounds from the keep. As you're crossing over, one step at a time, nervously, you see nothing. And you make your way and you finally get to the gatehouse. The gatehouse is essentially just a smaller version of the keep. There's the back gate of it, which is smaller than the front gate, which is open, completely open. It is completely dark in there, except for the single light coming from the crease in the large gate.
All right, do we open this one too?
Going to. I wasn't able to see anyone on like the ramparts, right? When I was walking across.
Nope. No torches, no sign of anyone up on the ramparts.
It's totally
As you get closer and the sound of the river is rushing beneath you, you do hear slight squeaks of more bats that are hanging in the rafters, or hanging in the top portions of the gatehouse.
Did they all turn into bats? I don't understand.
I am going to. How many floors is the gatehouse?
Gatehouse is so it's a single room in there that is very tall, and then there are stairs that lead up to the turrets on the side. So it's only really there's one floor really, and then a top kind of the actual
one floor rampart turrets.
Exactly.
Got it. I didn't see anyone on the ramparts. Okay. I opened the gate.
Okay. So. So as you all step into this space, you hear as you see these bats just flutter down all around you for a moment. You are getting 100% Dark Knighted. No, you're not getting lifted, but they are just sort of like you stepped in and you just sort of like kind of like cover your face as these bats are all flapping all around you. You know, occasionally one might like land on your shoulder and like nip at you a little bit, but they are relatively harmless. They are attempting to do some kind of like damage to you at first, but then kind of just all fly out into the night, and then you see them flutter up into some of the taller towers of the keep and find a new home in one of those. But the gatehouse is empty otherwise, except for scraps and detritus all around. You can open the gate.
Has it been 10 minutes yet?
The gates.
Yeah, you're just back there, just drawing a circle.
Yeah. Just
I would say
with
that
that
it's open.
Crayon
Open
marker.
out. You see kind of the stepping out, and then you see the you pull the lever, and the drawbridge drops, and you see out about 120 feet ahead of you the barricades of the general's camp. Wiswick, inside, your detect magic comes alive. You can feel the sense that this space is not, like the interior is not glowing that bright magical light. You still feel it amongst the walls and the outskirts. And the bridges themselves are particularly where you feel the strongest sense of this abjuration magic. Inside, there are little blimps of magic where there might be more structural enchantment. You do notice within the cluster of bats above, there is a glowing magical entity.
As a magical entity, what school of magic is it?
It's a bat spawner.
Yeah, it's it's just a bat
It's
spawner.
just conjuration.
It's just spewing out these bats.
It's just another fork. It's just the bat dimension.
Yeah. I mean, it would. So it would have an aura of conjuration around it. It's less that the entity is magical in the sense that there's residual magic around it that is conjuration based. It's not comforting to know that because it likely means that there's another summoned creature in there.
Just giving
Okay.
it away, huh?
Well, I mean, that's what detect magic does.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm going to yell out to the rest of them. Well, how far away did they get?
Very
out
far.
of
Like,
they're
they're
pretty
not
far
out
away.
of.
Or
Yeah,
cross the
they're-
bridge.
Yeah.
Huron's right there.
Huron, stay with me.
Yes.
Yeah, Kieran,
Yeah.
stay with you.
I point up to where the magical entity is coming from the bats, and I say,
There's something up there. It's not good.
Can I use my supervision to look?
Supervision.
Because I have unlimited dark vision, so.
I have unlimited dark vision.
That is true. So yeah, go ahead and head in and take a look because you're not in that room right now. You're off down the hall at the gate of the keep. So you can step back into that room if you like.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Yeah. I got a B. Oh, it's a nat 20 on D&D. 30.
I got a.
I got a B.
Like usually I got C's, but you know.
Bees come out of nowhere and carry you and show you the way.
"Bees, not the bees."
Not the bees.
So yeah, with a nat 20, you look above and you can see there's something you can see just lightly glittering amongst the hulking mass of bats all around. So you could just see kind of like a little bit of like red light as if it was coming through flesh, similar to the hellhounds. That's just sort of pulsing lightly, like a heartbeat. It's very faint, but it's like mingled. And for a second, your eyes focus, and you can see that there are bats hanging off of not stone or wood banisters, but hanging off of like a larger creature.
Oh.
Does Wiswick know anything about vampires?
I maybe if you want to give me a
Yeah, is that where you're going?
an
Clay?
Arcana check
You think
That's
you're
my
gonna-
guess.
or a Nature check.
Oh,
Yeah, why don't you just do a nature
I don't
check?
want to be right.
Let the DM tell you.
Well, he said like hellhounds. I mean, I get the bat connection, but I'm
Does
thinking-
a 17 do it?
17. I mean, Wiswick, you've heard stories about vampires. You've been told horror stories about vampires, but you don't know. I mean, this just the only connection you could think of is bats in this point. Like, if there was some like monstrous werebat vampire, maybe, but it would be very much so you creating stories in your head about what this is. It's not. It's definitely not. Like, if anything, it's just more of this sort of with that role. Kind of, it doesn't. It's not natural. It's not something of this plane of existence, which vampires weirdly are.
I just want to be clear. The magic, the detect magic that I had up, it detected other sources, but you said that they were primarily structural. They're not like.
Yeah, you're not getting like glints of like, oh, there's the major glints are the teleportation circle below, the Zvirfneblin door that is down there. You're not getting other pings of anything that's like major within the castle.
Okay, I'm going to say
We gotta warn the others, Kieran.
yes, you're very right, especially if they're about to bring in the general's men. Though they could help us in fighting it.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes. Let's go. And so Kieran's gonna start backing up, keeping an eye on it, but leaving to go meet up with the rest of the party.
Okay.
I think Wiswick is gonna follow Kieran, but as soon as the creature, whatever it is up there, gets out of almost out of range of his spell, he's gonna stop and wait so he can keep eyes on it. Technically.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're able to keep pretty consistent eyes on it with the range of your spell. I would say when you reach the others, if you're going to go across the bridge, when you get to the other gatehouse, it's not a mile away, so the spell is it's still within range of your detect magic. But I would say you're towards the end, the latter half of your detect magic when you get to the bridge. So while they're heading towards your way, the rest of you, is there anything you'd like to do at the gatehouse?
Alright, so do we just go tell the general and take rest?
I think so. I don't know. He made it sound like there'd be more people in here.
Is there a lit torch still in this gatehouse or no?
Smoldering, but not lit.
I'm sticking by my theory. I'll let the general make more assumptions on their whereabouts. But as of right now, it's not our problem.
And I'll stoke it back to life.
Okay.
And then I will stand in the middle of the gate, like the gate archway.
Yep.
And I will wave it.
Okay.
I could have done that.
But she didn't.
Probably, yes.
So as you wave it, you look out towards the barricades of the camp, and you eventually see a responding wave of a torch from one of the guards there, safely presuming that they were keeping an eye out for this anyway, knowing that you had already kind of departed from the camp. So you have alerted the camp as the gate is open. What would you like to do for now? I would say that Kieran and Wiswick are approaching towards you from the gate, from the bridge behind you.
I'm gonna wait until somebody relieves us.
As Kieran gets closer to them, he's gonna kind of hurry up, in tow clearly, and kind of throwing, not caution to the wind, but being louder than any other noise previously, besides the rapids underneath us. He's gonna kind of shout, whisper, where he's like, guys, or, but yeah, well, there's still something in there, something big in the rafters with the bats.
Yeah, we've got trouble.
Well,
We should probably tell the general.
yeah, the general can deal with it. He's got an army.
Yes, but we should.
What kind of something?
It seemed similar to the creatures that we encountered below, the hellhounds and the horror. It was almost slumbering among the rafters, a slow, steady heartbeat illuminating from within its chest as bats clung to it.
Yes,
Like-
I agree that we can make that the general's problem.
Moss on a tree.
Maybe it was a vampire that wrapped
I
itself in
don't
sticky
think-
stuff so we could have more
No.
bats.
No, Wiswick, your
It's a good theory.
rampant imagination.
Just like the drow.
Well, one
The drow
thing.
dogs. The drow
Yes.
dogs. Yes.
It could still be a drow.
All right, then we should do this. Wait
What's
here
that?
for support, and then get, I don't know, maybe Valen and Amara, or the general. He's a magic user, and we handle that. And then seems like our job is done.
Agreed.
Our job is done. Technically.
Yes, but you
It
know
would be
he's
nice.
gonna ask for our assistance in this.
And that's when we just. leave
That's when
before
we
can.
ask for even more compensation. If we
No,
do.
That's when we leave before we
Sounds right to me.
before he give him the chance to ask.
What about my people down below? We can't leave them alone with that thing.
What do you mean? They're fine.
Is there any movement from the goddamn camp?
Yes.
So eventually, you do see a sentinel coming from the camp, kind of cautiously and like very uncertain. They sort of like, you see them kind of like approaching, without a torch, just walking towards, like kind of like looking up, like
As
very
he's coming,
There's an
Kieran's gonna
arrow
do
about
like
to
the
hit.
same like yell where he's like, "It's all right. The keep is mostly empty. There's no more Sveralds that we could see."
Just a scary demon monster.
Yeah,
Yes,
there
just
it is.
that.
so kind of at that. Go ahead, Cal.
I was gonna say I walk out to the poor
Yeah,
person, so he's not staring into the dark at people yelling at him.
Yeah, he's definitely like freaking out, just like, is
Oh,
it
don't
like
worry,
a trap,
nothing in here.
guys?
Except that, oh, there's nothing in here. Oh, there's nothing here. I bet.
So yeah, so Cal, you easily can meet the sentinel halfway. You see, it's just a young soldier, male with a light blonde beard, kind of cap over his head, light leather armor on, just has a sword at his waist and a shield. He's got the shield out because he was like, arrows, and he just looks up at you and just sort of looks around, kind of past you at the opening of the gate, and the moonlight cascading through. He's like,
Get
"The
the
gates
general.
you're supposed to open them at sunrise. What?
Circumstances dictated a change in the plans. If you could go, please inform either Captain Amara, Captain Valen, or the general, and get one of them back here.
Yes, sir." He starts to rush back towards the camp. Sometime later.
Jeez, Cal, you're pretty good at bossing those guys around. You're gonna teach me sometime.
Sometime later, you do notice, because I imagine you're just sort of hanging in the gatehouse watching for someone, an envoy from the camp.
Cal shakes his head and doesn't respond to Wiswick's comment. Like not in like a Wiswick, in like a
Yeah. And it takes a little while, and you're waiting there for a while, kind of occasionally looking back at the keep, sort of just seeing this, what now is just like so much more dark and frightening looking in the moonlight, with the Sverals had humanized this keep in some way, but now it's just this ancient fortress, a lot like the Spire, that is a threat, really, an extraplanar threat. Eventually, you do notice an envoy of soldiers approaching, with Captain Valen at the head, approaching you. It's about it's not a huge mass of soldiers. It's probably about 8 of them, 4 flanking either side of Valen as he approaches. He's still a bit injured, but he's walking tall and confidently towards you, and just looking past you at this point and waiting. They stop. They wait about 50 feet from the gate.
I make sure I'm visible. I'm like, hello, it's me. I'm walking
Yep.
towards
As
you.
soon as Valen spots you, Cal, they start to approach closer, and the soldiers come in before him and fan out into the gatehouse where you are, just sort of looking around very, very tensely. You see them immediately go towards the back, looking across the bridge. You can see one of them closes one of the doors, but keeps one of them open, and they start to just keep an eye out back there as Valen approaches you, Cal, and looks around, expecting corpses. This is earlier than we expected.
Understood, sir. Circumstances, as I told your scout there, dictated a bit of a change in the plans. We were able to obviously get into the basement, the lower levels of the keep, and there discovered a Wiswick and Kieran could most likely speak to it better than I, but some form of, it was a magic user in ancient plate armor and a demon bat thing, and it had apparently fought and killed a number of Sverals in the levels.
we were able to dispatch the aforementioned bat thing, and the magic user was able to get away. I do not know how. As I said, you may want to speak to Kieran or Wiswick about that. Upon further investigation of the keep, we discovered that if there were remaining Zvales, they are certainly not anywhere between the keep and here. And apparently the bridge from the gatehouse to that front door should be clear. However, Wiswick, I believe, discovered something.
Yeah, there's another one of those big scary bat monsters in there. The other one was pretty tough. I don't know if it's the same thing, but if it is, you're in for a hell of a time.
So what you're saying is there are no Zverls left. There are
From here to the keep.
demons.
From here to the keep, the only thing that we know is still breathing in there is what we believe to be a bat.
Aberration.
It's some kind of aberration of fiend.
This wizard, this mage that you fought, he killed Zvers. They were against the Zvers.
There were some
It appeared
dead
that way,
bodies.
yes.
We did not witness them killing each other. However, that is what the evidence points to.
The wounds on their body look like the creature had killed them, and then they appear to have been placed in a mock magical
Tony.
ritual. Yes. As if to implicate some kind of dark magic.
And this was all done by this wizard. Do you have any other defining traits besides ancient armor?
The plate armor had a
cross?
visor was a cross.
I minor illusion an image of it.
There you go.
Wiswick, give me a performance check to see how accurate this is.
Okay.
Can I fix his detail with another minor illusion?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, he can. Doesn't matter who does it.
I rolled pretty good, even without an advantage. Performance is +0, so I got an 18.
18, okay, pretty good. Has gets the gist, and Valen would immediately kind of step up to the illusion and sort of investigating it and looking down at he doesn't say anything, but you can, anyone watching, I'd say Kieran, you can probably notice his facial features, reactions, and the strongest reaction comes from when he sees the 7-pointed star on the tabard.
What does
And
it
then-
mean?
Well, it can mean many things. None of them good.
I gather that much.
I believe he'll look past you towards the keep. I believe this is all that is asked of you. We will take it from here. Unless you wish to help. But I imagine you have dealt with a lot, judging by this strange ancient wizard you have encountered, and bat demons. And you'd be able to see, you got wounds on you.
It'd be best if we could rest in the camp before taking off in the morning.
Certainly, you have your tent still. I will speak with the general about what you've achieved and how we will approach this demon. You say it was sleeping, it was resting.
That's what it appeared to be, yes. When I saw it in the rafters, it was a slow, steady glow within its chest, as if whatever energy, did that thing where it's like it's breathing.
And you can see Valen is very visually disturbed by a lot of this. He's sort of keeps looking past you, and you could, I'd say, almost tell that he like knows what's going to probably need to be done, and it's freaking him out. But he's just very well. I suggest that we close these gates for now on this side. Keep the front gates open. I will stay here with these soldiers. You can return to the camp. I will send a runner to the general to alert him of what you have achieved and what your next plans are. Do you plan to leave in the morning? Do you plan to leave in the morning?
Yes.
Then I will make sure that the general knows of your plans and provides you with adequate payment for your services to the crown.
Thank you again, Vader.
Good luck, Captain.
Kieran's gonna linger slightly as the party walks away, and then, speaking to Valen in Elvish, goes, "What is on your mind, kinsman? What is going on, Driftmarch, in this keep?"
Give me a persuasion roll with advantage.
I'm gonna use real dice. Let's see if. Oh. 9.
Okay, so I'd say it's not so much that you failed to connect with him. It's more so that he is so distracted that he gives you not much of an answer, and his response is simply, "This is. No matter what this is, whatever that wizard was, it is something terrible that can lead to many deaths, if it is what I think it is. And I don't really want to go fight a demon, but I'm sure you did not either."
Well, if it isn't any assistance, radiant magic seems to affect it the most. I would offer you my services, but it appears my party wishes to leave this place as quickly as possible. Make sure your general understands the Spheralds are not behind this specific incident. Taking castle, yes, but I think that there can be common ground between your general and these Spheralds.
Hopefully that is a side effect of this incursion. Perhaps some resolution. Thank you, Kieran. To you and your friends. You continue to serve us well. I hope to see you again in the future.
Of
If I
course.
do not see you tomorrow morning.
Until then, Ilivanya, watch you, friend, kinsman. And with that, Kieran turns on his heel and follows his party.
So you walk away from the gatehouse. You look back to see Valen sort of take a deep breath, and you see him ascend the stairs up into the turrets above. And the last thing you can see as you enter back into the general's camp is the silhouette of Valen's horns and his figure, a sole sentinel atop this gatehouse looking towards the keep, as one of his runners runs past you and heads up into the general's camp to alert him of what happened. You, tiredly exhausted, walking into his camp. It's about midnight at this point, and all you want to do is put distance between you and the demons behind you and find respite after successfully ending your current partnership with the general. And that's where we'll end tonight and pick up next week.
Woo!
Thank you, everyone who stuck around with us to 11. And for those who popped in a little late, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for the subs I see. Please make sure if you have the ability to go to the link Shannon just posted, our Tiltify campaign for the Bail Project. Please make any donations you can. Anything helps, even if it's just $1 or $5. Please donate to a good cause. We've got a lot of interesting mystery tonight, and we will start next week at the as our friends are heading to rest for the night, and likely we will get to the morning rather quickly, where they will then decide what their next step is. And I'm sure they're going to be heading towards the Zverewold town of Oranshire, to the northwest of here.
You sure, Sean?
Yeah.
You sure?
Wiswick casts suggestion, and the whole party goes to go.
Yeah, right.
So you all like come to a week later. You're deep in the Underdark amongst a bunch of Sphere of Neblin, and you're just like, Wiswick. Thank you everyone for sticking around. It was a really great episode. If you missed the beginning, please check in. There was some really cool combat in there and some tense sneaking around. Once again, donate to the Bail Project in our campaign, the link Shannon shared. Thanks for joining us in Paradise, and we hope you'll join us next week. Have a lovely week.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Relaxing in Paradise on Wednesday nights, where I will hang out from 8 to 10-ish, playing games, talking lore. Alex plays on Tuesdays sometimes. I hope he's getting back into the Oblivion. It's good fun. And then, of course, the Tim and Shannon Power Hour every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check it all out and have a lovely night. Good night.
Bye.